Hey, what's happening and what's good, everybody? Welcome to Peaches and Power Bombs. Part co-host Alora Presley. On the other side is Majestic Marie. And down below us, we got some guests today. We've been wanting to have them on for a while. It's Chris and HBT from the Straight Up Wrestling Show. How are you doing, guys?
Doing good, doing good. It looks like my co-host over there. Over there.
I know.
There. He's over there. He's having some technical difficulties. Per HBT. I mean, that's all I can say. I'm always joking and teasing him about it all the time.
We understand because it seems like you're trying to have a good show and you're ready to go, and then all of a sudden it wants to just quit working on you. So.
Exactly. How are y'all doing tonight, though?
And he's gone. He'll return. So yep, there he comes. He's back. Hold on. There we go.
I couldn't hear. I could not hear not a word. So I had to refresh everything, man. I'm like, wow, something's up.
Yeah, that phone of yours, that crapple, man. I told you about that thing, man.
I don't go hit something to turn the volume all the way down. I see that. When I reset it, it went. I don't know how in the world I did that, but hey, whatever.
It happens to the best of us.
You better stop down at Apple, man. That's all I gotta say. All right.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us here at Peaches and Power Bombs. If you are a new viewer of ours from Straight Up Wrestling Show, we welcome you guys too. We are streaming over there as well. Thank you so much for joining us and bringing your fan base with you on this little journey of ours. The three of us had the opportunity to go to a AEW Collision this past weekend. Yes. And it's funny because we've been to two of the same wrestling shows now, and we still have not met in person.
Yeah, we was. The whole thing about it is you can't move around over there when you down on the floor. I mean, right. I'm pretty sure they will stop you.
Yep.
Trying to do that. I was hoping that when the show ended, we was going to be able to meet, but you guys ended up leaving, which I understand, with your dad having his problems and everything like that. Chris and I, we stayed for the Ring of Honor show, and man, what a mistake that was. Not really. It was a good show. It was just a long show. It was long. We was there till after 12 o'clock, like 12:21.
Woo, I'm kind of glad we left now. I mean, did anything memorable happen though? I saw your pictures with Darby Allin, and I didn't see Darby on Collision. So
that was actually that was the last part. That was the last person that came out. He was just flew in from Seattle, and he lives somewhere in Georgia.
Yes,
he lives in Atlanta. Yeah,
and they basically had their last match, and Tony came out again. And there's a cat on time, like always.
Yeah.
And Tony came out and basically was like, "Hey guys, glad y'all had a good night. Glad you had a good show." Tony Nese and Smart Mark Sterling come out, interrupt Tony. They say they have some words and stuff and everything and whatever. And Tony was like, "Wait a minute, I had an announcement that somebody wanted to say something to the people, but it wasn't you guys." And they were like, "Whatever, Tony." Tony leaves. And they're talking trash, whatever, walk their way down to the ring, and they're talking trash to the crowd. And it's only at this time, maybe about 200, 300 people in the whole arena by this time.
Right.
So they're talking trash. Next thing you know, here comes Darby Allin. Darby Allin comes out and basically attacks Tony Nese, throws him out the ring. Him and Mark Sterling head back up the ramp. Security runs down, tries to tell Darby, "Hey, you can't hit people with skateboards. You can't do that. That's illegal. It's assault." And what happens? And he attacks the security guys and does a coffin drop on one of them.
Oh, okay. So he just Wardlowed them all then.
basically, yeah. Basically, that's what happened.
Yeah, he was. Tony Nese was picking on people, the Southern people in Greenville, all night long, and telling us to exercise. When he had his match, earlier in this match, I think he was in like the third match, Chris, or something like that.
Yeah.
But when he had his match, he was he telling everybody, okay, now let's do some jumping jacks and stuff. Like some people were doing jumping jacks actually in the crowd. It was just flat crazy. So he came back out. Even after that, all other matches went on. He came out, him and Mark Sterling at the end, and started downing people again about not exercising and eating all kind of slop and everything like that. And, then that's when Darby came out and pretty much defended the people of Greenville. So it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well, who do we have with us?
Sometimes it just gets really chaotic at a wrestling show. So I understand. Like sometimes like when I go to a show in Atlanta, I don't get to see all my wrestling friends up there because it's crazy. And
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was so funny because
I'm glad y'all had it. I'm glad y'all had a good time. It looked like it was a great show, and I know how AEW is. They are long.
I had no idea. I really had no idea. I was like,
it's usually pretty long.
Now I know. And what was so funny too, when Tony Nese was talking trash to the crowd, he mentioned Waffle House. So I'm sure every Waffle House in Greenville County got a lot of business that night.
Yeah.
Hey, giving back to the community.
There you go.
Start chanting, "We want waffles."
So bad now, God.
He said everybody in eating at the greasy Waffle House and everything, and then so the whole crowd just started chanting, "We want waffles. We want
Hey,
waffles."
that's better than "we want tables."
Yeah.
Yeah, this is true.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
it was a fun
get
night.
to some comments right quick. We got a boatload of them. Sugar Shane is here with us. Okay. So Alma actually showed up first, and hope you're doing good. Yeah, she said she had food poisoning, like really bad.
Oh wow!
Ooh.
Wow.
Yuck.
Poor girl.
Ooh.
I'm so sorry. I'm glad you're feeling better.
Yes,
all
definitely.
113.
Yeah, hopefully.
Keep it over there. I hope you're staying cool. Keep it over there because it's been hot here in Georgia the last few days, and I had enough.
Keep that heat down over there. Whew, 113.
All right, and Christine, one of our fellow regulars. Hello.
Howdy.
And it says Facebook user. I'm not sure who that is. Oh.
I love you, brothers.
That sounds like Kelby.
Probably it might be
or it could be Rick,
somebody like that, or who knows.
Well, I'm just saying, if Elijah does not show up tonight, I'm gonna be upset because he asks every day when you're going live, Harry. So
okay. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
He'll be watching, but it don't mean he's gonna show up.
That guy, gee, Louise.
And he knows when we're not live, man. It's crazy.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
And that Facebook user was Kelby. That was Kelby.
Oh, it was Kelby. Okay,
Yeah,
what's going on, Kelby?
Okay. And so, like I said earlier, Collision was a good show. Y'all were there live, so I know it was excellent.
Yeah.
And so we'll go ahead and talk about that a little bit. And then
Before we do, we have to do our tradition where we have the Briscoe brothers get us
That's
ready
right.
for the show. So here we go.
Here we go.
Ain't no way, chick. There ain't no way, man. Ain't no way y'all could possibly be ready. You can say you're ready as many times as you want. That's all I'm gonna tell you. Y'all boys ain't ready. There's no way, man. Talking about they anxious. You hear him, chick? Hey. Somebody losing sleep. They losing sleep, baby. I've been getting the best sleep of my life. I've been snoring, baby. I've been snoring. Dreaming about this ass.
Oh man.
That's
Yeah.
right. We about to have a party.
Every time we play that, I miss Jay even more.
Yeah.
I just need Eddie Kingston just to make an appearance tonight. That's all I want. I just need Eddie to make an appearance. That's all I need.
Wow.
Well, we'll see.
It will happen.
All right, guys. So
Speaking of, yes.
I think
Yes.
he's out of the tournament.
yes, David Finley won their last match. So David Finley is going on to into their qualifier for their block. So Eddie Kingston is now officially out of the G1. So hopefully he'll be showing up on AEW television because he's rumored to have a match with he's rumored to like be teaming with Orange Cassidy or something like that against the BCC or something. That's the rumor.
Wow.
So
that would be an interesting combination. I want to see how that works out.
Unfinished business, yeah.
Who knows?
But we'll go over Collision since the three of us were there, and then we'll go over SummerSlam. So if y'all don't mind sticking around for a little while to go over it, we'll try to go as quickly as possible.
Sure, no problem.
All right.
No problem.
Yeah, Chris, did
They got married
let me ask you,
today.
Laura, can you see our fans, our friends over on Straight Up Wrestling Show, or you just see y'all's?
We see the names of ours, but when it comes from y'all, it just says Facebook user.
Okay, because we got two people from YouTube.
All right, Christopher Douglas says, "Woo." Jack Michaels on says, "Oh my God, this is unexpected." And we got a couple other people, but we're good. From there.
Okay, so if we don't see the comments from your all's YouTube channel, Harry, if you just want to read those out periodically, that's fine.
Sure. Okay.
All right, so we had a pretty interesting start of Collision. I was very hyped about this. We had the AEW Tag Team Championships. Brian Cage and Big Bill were the challengers, and they were facing FTR, who are the champions. And this match was a fun way to start off. I mean, this was one of the matches that I was looking forward to the most. I'm, as you can see, a very big FTR fan.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. I am a little bit biased though because I actually know Cash pretty well. He used to wrestle in Georgia all the time before he got signed to NXT. So I have a little bit of a friend bias there. So
all right.
I'm gonna root for someone I know. But they really have arguably become one of the best tag teams in professional wrestling today, in my opinion, even without all of that. So I thought this match was a whole lot of fun. There was a whole lot of cool spots. Brian Cage actually caught both of them out at once and body slammed them. That was a really cool spot.
Yeah. And Harry told me something today too. A nice little side note here about who is it? Cash's mom.
Yeah.
Cash or Dax?
Dax.
About Dax.
Cash.
Yeah, about Cash's mother. Yeah, his mom actually lives here in Greenville and works part-time at a roses store.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, right down. Yeah, right around the corner from me. So I'm just like, wow. I didn't know that was his mom. I had no clue.
Yeah, I think his dad still lives in North Carolina, but I didn't know where his mom lived. So cool. Okay.
I love the fact that she got involved in the match. It was great.
Yeah.
That was my favorite part.
that was a good fun match, I mean. And Brian Cage, I knew he was a big boy, but when you see him up close, you're like, that is a real big boy.
Oh yeah.
I was like, that's a monster of a man, boy. I'm like,
you know what? He kind of reminded me of Animal a little bit, Chris. But more defined though.
He was definitely stockiness. He's definitely more defined than Animal.
He's more defined, but his stockiness and his facial features, the way he got his hair cut, he kind of reminded me of Animal a little bit. And I'm like, but he's pretty big, man, pretty powerful too. So I don't know if he can bench as much as Animal, but he's pretty darn strong.
Yeah. And Big Bill was very entertaining throughout all of this. I mean, his little dances that he was doing and making those faces at us in the crowd, he was really fun to watch. I enjoyed watching him.
And I was just thinking, it's funny you brought up Big Bill because I was just actually thinking, if so happened they break up what's their faction? The mobile, what is it? The mobile,
they're the
embassy.
Yeah, the embassy. Yeah, the embassy. What would they do with Big Bill?
I I don't know.
It just makes me think. If just so happened they broke him up, what would they do with him? I wonder.
I don't know, because he's been kind of floundering since he's gotten there, and
Yeah.
they've just been. I mean, first he was in the firm, and now he's with the embassy, and it's like, I know for one thing he needs to change his name.
Yeah, that name is not
like
that.
that.
That's
Say that.
that's not working.
I'm with that.
I don't know why I mean, I know it's not much better, but it was a little bit better when he was going by Cass XL. That's a little bit better than Big Bill, but
I can work with Cass XL a lot better than Big Bill. That just
yeah.
I don't know.
It sounds like a kindergartner came up with their pro wrestling. Honestly.
Or he used to be an ex-lumberjack or something. I don't know.
If he was going with that kind of character, that would fit. But
yeah,
I'm just like what he's supposed to be, Big Bill. And now if he was a fan favorite, if he was wasn't a heel, he was a baby face. Big Bill might work for him if he was a lovable fan favorite, doing those dances and going out and pretty much interacting with the crowd and everything like that. That will work, I believe. But with him
like
being
Daniel Garcia, right? He does his little thing.
Yeah, his little.
Yeah.
I hate that so much. I hate it so much.
Yeah, but I've seen big guys like that in the past. I'm talking way back. That used to use a gimmick like that, and they would have some kind of name, and it'd be some kind of lovable character that you think that will be out in the neighborhood that just treated that was in the grocery stores that probably treated everybody very kind and everything, and was there for everybody to help fix their trucks and things like that.
Yeah, I was about to say Big Bill kind of sounds like that dude that is the mechanic that works down at the Eagle Oil station.
Exactly.
Oh man. Oh my goodness, that's hilarious.
But with him being mogul embassy and supposed to be this big tough rough guy, and with that name, it's kind of it doesn't fit. But still, he's still a bad boy though.
Yeah.
They were doing a really good job of playing that heel tag team, cutting off half the ring, keeping Cash away from Dax most of the match, and just playing to that crowd and getting them hyped up and keeping them interested in what they were doing. I enjoyed it very much.
Yeah, it was a good match. It was, like I said, it was fun. They kept Dax out the ring as long as they possibly could. Yeah. And when he finally got the tag, obviously you're gonna get that pop. Yeah. And it was a fun match.
Yeah, and Cage was pretty nasty in that. He was pretty nasty in that match, man. He controlled most of it. And I mean, when Dax was getting off those chops, and I mean, he can lay some lumber. Hey, Cage just look at him and boom, hit him with a clothesline, man, the lariat, and take him down. So I mean, it was a good match. It really was. So.
And then afterwards, we had FTR grab the microphones and officially challenge the Young Bucks to All In for the to put their titles on the line, saying that they have unfinished business with them. What do you all think of this potential match? With all the backstage politics with FTR and CM Punk and the Elite, do you really see it? Are you a little bit scared about this? I am a little bit. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
When you put it like that, yes. I am a little bit scared since you put it like that.
Territory for sure.
Yeah. But I'm going to go out on a thin limb of faith and say somebody's going to step up and be an ultimate professional and keep this thing in check. I mean, you have to. You have to.
Right.
I mean, granted,
somebody's got to play Switzerland.
Exactly. Yes. And granted, during the match, there's going to be some heated moments and probably some personal moments, I'm sure. But you still got to be professional at the end of the day. So, but they're going to be walking the razor's edge.
And the Young Bucks will have to remember that FTR was not involved with that altercation at all.
Right.
They were not involved with that. Yeah. They're just guilty by association through a mutual friend, so they should not take that out on FTR just because they're buddies with CM Punk, and they should do business. And I think I think the Young Bucks. Okay, the first time the Young Bucks went over, the second time FTR went over, but it was really a funny finish. It didn't really satisfy that. It didn't satisfy the match, in my opinion. And that left me going, okay, they need to have a third match, and it needs, the Young Bucks need to put FTR over. So yeah. I don't know what would happen if they were to put the titles on the Young Bucks. They would have to do it in the right way, involving CM Punk in some way or something like that. That would be the only way that I would see it doing it the right way. But I don't know.
If the Young Bucks, like you said, were to get those titles, it would have to be some kind of mishap, some kind of timing mishap is the only way I can think of between CM Punk and one of the members of FTR for them to lose it. That's the only way it will possibly even make sense if the Young Bucks were possibly going to get the belts that I can see.
Or because All Out is right the next week, the Young Bucks might win on a really weird, screwy finish, and then they do a repeat. That's a little too hokey for me, but I could. Yeah. It's AEW. You never know.
This is true.
I was going to say it's the Young Bucks too. You know they love a screwy finish, so
they do. They do.
Well, the Young Bucks haven't had the titles in a while, so
that is true.
So I mean, so people might take to that and be able to deal with that. My whole thing with FTR and the Young Bucks and all that, with Kenny Omega and all of them that was involved in that CM Punk. Yes, somebody, like Chris said, somebody's gonna have to be professional. And yes, it's gonna take like, Dax and Cash to actually, pretty much come in that situation and try to get it straightened out. But hey, we all know, I mean, and I'm pretty sure all of us had friends. We've been associated with certain people and lost friends, or friends decided they're not gonna associate with us because we're associated with other people. So hopefully they can get all that ironed out. And maybe this right here will be a way to bring everybody together in the whole company. Yeah. And it's going to be healthy. It'll be healthy for everybody if they can get along and, like I said, and put that match together and they can bring Collision and Dynamite together for the whole thing. So yeah,
I honestly think that if anything,
I'll be right back.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
No problem.
I think that they should really, come together and do a storyline. CM Punk, the Elite, even if it was just CM Punk and Kenny Omega, that would show everybody that we are that they are indeed a united company like they claim to be, instead of keeping you over here and you over here. That doesn't look united. But if they were actually to get over their differences and say, you know what, yeah, I don't really like you all that much, I don't appreciate what you said, but at the end of the day, we are professionals. We want to make this company some money. We want success.
Set a good example, because these are locker room.
Right.
These are locker room leaders,
Right.
I mean, you were already saying, "Oh, I work with children." It's like children right now being separated, but
that's true.
You gotta let that go. And Eric Bischoff always said it best: controversy creates cash. I mean, why not?
Right.
So, I'm
while Chris is
more comments. Go ahead.
I was going to say, while Chris is gone, do you want to read some comments?
Yeah. Alma says JS broke up finally. They did?
Yeah.
I didn't catch Dynamite yet.
So yeah, I haven't watched it, but I heard.
I got you. Christine says that what's his face is
Brian Cage?
Yes, thank you. I forgot that quick. Brino's in the house. Hey, how you doing?
Brino!
What's going on, Brino?
Yeah, she's saying hi to Mina. She stayed up here for a good minute. I was wondering if she was sick. Let's see. Shane, I like to see Big Bill tag with Luchasaurus and be managed by Christian. I don't hate that.
That's interesting.
I do not hate that. Elvis Martinez acknowledged me. Hey, how you doing? All right. Yeah, his dance is stupid. Okay. FTR has to win. FTR turns heel again. Interesting.
We'll see how it goes.
All right, Danny Fisher says, what's up? And Jamie Sanders says, what's going on? Straight Up Wrestling Show and Peaches and Power Bombs.
Hi.
Hello. Thank you for joining us.
All right.
Hello.
I know Chris isn't here, but I guess we can go and move on to the next match. It wasn't a really big match, so
okay.
We'll go ahead and talk about it.
Sorry.
All right. Action Andretti, Darius Martin, go ahead.
There it goes. Yeah, Action Andretti, Darius Martin, Lee Moriarty versus the House of Black and the House of Black rules. It wasn't a really long match. Both teams were able to put in some good defense, though, so it wasn't all one-sided like I was afraid it would be. And it was just a fun, keep you interested match. Put the House of Black on there, put those trios titles on there too, because this following Saturday they will be putting those trios titles on the line against CM Punk and FTR. So that'll be a big deal there in North Carolina as well. So, are you guys going to that show?
No, we're not going to that one.
Like, you're not going to travel and then sit there for 7 hours?
not after making a 4-hour drive. No.
Yeah.
No.
No.
Not really that long, but it feels like it sometimes.
Yeah.
Well, from Greenville to Greensboro is exactly 4 hours.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yes. Trust me, I've been up through that way many times at my old job. Okay. I know, because I've had to go to Durham. So I know that's right around the corner.
I've been to Greensboro. I mean, I went to see Crockett Promotions a couple shows, but I don't know. I guess I never really thought about it, but I was young though. I mean, I haven't been since. I mean, I was young. I haven't been to Greensboro since what, late mid '80s, so a long time ago. So but I didn't pay attention to it because I wasn't driving.
Yeah, like we're all older now, and what used to be fun, 4 or 5+ hour drive, you're just like exhausted.
Exactly.
Because when I went to Columbia for SmackDown, I was like, good God, why did I do this?
Man, I was tired. Wow. I was tired just after that 1 hour trip to Greenville. Dad's house. Oh man, but yeah, this match was all right. I thought it was interesting that they put Lee Moriarty with them. I guess because the firm is no longer a thing. I guess that's why they put.
I love Lee Moriarty anyway. I really hope. I
really good wrestler.
He wrestled with him in the future because he's all around. He's all around a great worker, and
yes, I agree.
He's impressed me every time. So
yeah, he wrestled on Ring of Honor that night too.
Yeah, he sure did. I'm trying to think. Who did he wrestle? I'm trying to think.
It was interesting to me that Lee. It might have been because Lee is from it. It's from the Atlanta area, I think. Okay. So it might have been closer for him, but Vikingo has been with the other two, Darius and Action Andretti, lately on Ring of Honor. So I thought he was going to be coming out with them, but it ended up being Lee. He probably couldn't get, flights and travel right now is so crazy. So he probably wasn't able to come out, but it was a good match for what it was.
Yeah, it wasn't bad at all.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was. I have no complaints about it. The only complaints I really had, though, that we really couldn't see all the action because, like, everybody in front of us was like 8 foot and taller, and that was with them sitting down.
Yeah, we had people in front of us, no doubt.
That's how it always works out, don't it?
Yeah, I mean, granted, when they came out, we had excellent. We were literally like right there.
Yeah, because we was on the second row because it was
from the stage.
We was on the second row right there as they come out.
So we had like about 7 to 8 rows in front of us, but we were like really right next to the stage.
Yeah,
right. Right. Yeah, we were on the other side, on like this side of the commentator table. So we were in the second row as well. But if I'm short, so if anybody stood up, I couldn't see anything. So I had to repeat myself a billion times. Would you please sit down? Please sit down. I can't see. I didn't pay money to see the back of your head. Please sit down.
Exactly.
But yeah, it was cool to see House of Black and the other three guys as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was a good one, man. I mean, and I had no idea. Everybody seemed to really truly who was it? Brody Lee.
Yeah.
Brody King. Brody King. Everybody loved him, man. They were going nuts for that boy, man. I was like, wow.
Yeah, he started the match off of House of Black, man. Powerhouse, man. I mean,
and I was like, could we see a House of Black face turn tonight? I mean, where the crowd was cheering, you would think they was.
Yeah. Well, it depends if North Carolina. Well, North Carolina is not going to boo FTR.
No,
but,
no.
So CM Punk will get cheers just off of that part. So they're not going to get booed this coming week.
Yeah.
This one I was excited about because this is the very first time of getting to see Jay White live.
Okay.
So I was super excited.
Yes.
It wasn't a long match.
Pretty quick.
It did what it was supposed to do. Just got the Bullet Club Gold out there. I don't know how the Gun Club did on commentary. Alora, did you watch and hear them on commentary?
Well, yeah, but I'm really good at tuning out things.
Okay.
I didn't care about the Gun Club. I was excited to see Jay White.
Right.
I saw that. I went back. I watched a little bit of that. And what was Juice Robinson out there? He's talking and had the poster beside him. Jay White knocked the poster down. Boom, knocked it out. Because I like these guys are hilarious, man.
Yes.
For the match, but they called out metallic or whatever. So yeah, it was pretty funny. But
Scott from the hashtag Truth is in the house. He said this.
All right, what's up, Mr. Scott Larson?
This is way too much star power. Wow, I love this.
We appreciate that, Scott.
All right. So, okay. Facebook user, hit him with the chair. It's got to be from your side, guys.
Yeah, probably so. We can't see Facebook, so.
Okay.
Anything from YouTube, Harry?
Mr. Michael. Oh, okay. Knock it out the box. That's all he said. Knock it out the box. He said, y'all doing great. But that's it right there. Let me see.
Thanks.
Let me refresh this thing just to make sure that we have everybody. But yeah, let's keep going.
Juice is really growing on me. I wasn't very familiar with him until he came to AEW, but he is so funny. His facial expressions are perfect, and him coming out there with that cardboard cutout. Even when Jay White is actually there, he's still coming out with it. I'm like, okay, we're just gonna roll with this. It's fun. It is fun. Okay, so next up is the shortest match that was on the show. Samoa Joe versus Serpentico, which lasted 3 seconds, and longer than that, but it felt like it was only 3 seconds. He choked him out pretty quickly, and then he grabs the mic and he challenges CM Punk to a match at All In, because he is the king of television, and nobody wants to play with Samoa Joe.
But Samoa Joe, man, that was just, he come out. I like his swag. I like the way he came out, the way he walked down the ramp and everything.
Oh, yeah.
Cool. I mean, he just went in there and he's going to take over. But I figure he'll let what is the guy's name again? Serpentico. Yeah, I thought he would let the guy get a little bit of shots in, but he took advantage of him very quick. I mean, he established himself very fast and ended the match. So hey, big ups to and Samoa Joe, and then his promo afterwards I thought was very good. Very good promo, very strong. He got his point across and got his point across in the match, man. And he looked really good, and the crowd liked him. Greenville liked him a lot.
Oh yeah. Joe's whole presence, his music, just from his music to the way he comes out there, the way his eyes look, and he's just focused with that towel around his neck. He just looks like he's about to kill somebody. And it's perfect.
Don't F with me, F around and find out, right?
Exactly.
That is his whole shtick, and I love it. I've always loved Samoa Joe.
Yeah.
All right, let me get this one comment, guys. Marcus Brown, what's going on, Marcus? Salute to everyone here. I appreciate that it's a woman that loves the sport of pro wrestling, that it's women that love the sport of pro wrestling. I want wrestling to thrive, no doubt. Harry and Chris, I'm going to give the video a like. And definitely give it a like and hit that like, share, subscribe, Marcus Brown. Subscribe to my girls, Peaches and Power Bombs, the women, young women here. Appreciate that. All right.
Timothy is showing up. He says, "Sup, people? Jamie Hayter and Katana Chance are the queens."
All right, what's up, Timothy? A man.
Shane, I have a feeling that CM Punk versus Samoa Joe will have a special guest referee, Kenny Omega.
Wow.
I don't know about that, but we'll see.
Hopefully not. I don't know.
What?
FTR versus the Young Bucks with Kenny Omega as the special guest referee. And then CM Punk comes out there. I don't know. Oh, man. All right, really quick. We won't spend too much time on this next part. These were sporadic through the show. It wasn't all at once. I just put them all together. And that we had 3 different promo sections, backstage promo sections between Christian Cage, and then there was one with Toni Storm, and then the Acclaim promos. Christian Cage's was really funny. Toni Storm has really come out of her little shell lately and just shown enormous amount of character work. She was my favorite out of all 3 of them. And then, of course, the Acclaimed talking about Billy Gunn and will he or will he not retire. As of now, we don't know if it's just storyline or if it's real. But if it is, much love to Billy Gunn and his long career. We could sit here and talk all night long about all the things that Billy Gunn has done. So much love to him.
True. Yeah, me personally, at this point, I really never cared about Toni Storm. Even when she was in WWE, I could have cared less. It was something about it that just didn't click with me. And now they're going with this bratty thing, and I can't have my way. And I'm like, but that's just me, though. That's just me, my personal.
Hey, everybody has their personal opinions, and you can have it, even if it's wrong. I'm just kidding. And
I need the button. I need the Eddie button now. I need the Eddie button just for
you want the Eddie button?
I need the Eddie button for that one. I need it for
okay. Okay.
Wow, what's going on with my thing here?
Fight me! Fight me! Fight me! Fight me! Fight me! Don't fight me!
Yeah, that was a perfect segue for the Eddie button. I'm sorry. That was
yes.
segue.
Jordan Payne, he says, "How long do you think Better Than You, Baby tag team will last?"
Jordan, what's up, man? Glad you
made it.
What's
up, Jordan?
That is a good question because, as we saw last night, they're starting to go to a more serious side of the, and
the
less
line
comedic.
About Hogan in the 80s. Oh my God. I was like, I did see that this morning.
And then the last night with the dodgeball and him just knocking kids out, I was like, oh my gosh. I'm like, this is the greatest thing ever.
Man, why in the world was that the greatest thing ever?
Because it was funny. It's all
It
get
was
up.
funny.
Because
I will say that.
Thank you, Christine. Peaches and Power Bombs are fabulously awesome. I love it.
I mean, you saw it coming a mile away, man. I mean, you know he wasn't going to beat up Adam Cole. So he was like, okay, I'm going to take my anger out on the next best thing. A bunch of no good kids. Boop, boop, boop. And just started taking them out. I was like, I love it.
That's funny. It kind of reminds me of that one segment with $1 Million Man when he had that little kid out there to bounce the basketball and he kicks it away.
Yes, exactly.
Oh man, I love it.
The Facebook user is your favorite OS. I guess
Shot
that's for you guys.
Van Dam, yes.
Damn, what's going on?
Van Dam.
Chris, give me just a second. I'll be back, guys.
Okay.
Okay, really quick.
Hey, how are you doing?
We had a women's match as well, a TBS championship with Chris Statlander versus Mercedes Martinez. This was my least favorite match. Okay. It just did not hold. It missed on a whole lot of different things. Those two girls just did not have the chemistry at all, I don't think. Yeah. And it lost my interest pretty quickly because of that reason. I don't like to throw shade, especially on the women right now, but it was what it was. It wasn't all that great, in my opinion.
It wasn't that great, and I hate to have to say this, but I've said it before. That's one of the matches you be like, hey, anybody want popcorn? Anybody want a soda? And I joke about it, but I'd be doggone if it did not happen. People literally got up by the droves and literally walked out on that match. I kid you not. People were, I don't know if you saw that, but people were literally getting up and leaving during that match. I was like,
at least 30 to 40% of the crowd went and got some food.
Wow. And it's not because they were women.
No.
Let's be honest. It wasn't because they were women. It was because it was not interesting. They didn't tell a story. They were missing on a whole lot of stuff. Mm-hmm. And if you're going to have someone run out there like they did with Diamante, make sure that people know who that is. I had to look who that was up because I didn't know. I was like, who's that?
Her, to be honest with you. And I was like,
no, and Willow.
Yeah, she was with Mercedes. She was with Mercedes Martinez, for a while. And that's the thing too. I don't know if she, what was the deal? Was she injured? Was she,
Mercedes was.
And so like when you don't see him, it's out of sight, out of mind. So it's just like, you're like, oh wait, so basically you have to kind of figure all that out again. Yeah. So
I was like, who is that? Is that one of the Renegade twins? I was like, I honestly didn't know. And she just hasn't been on television all that much, and I'm sorry, I don't watch every little thing out there, so I don't keep up with every tiny little promotion or thing. Yeah. So I had no idea. If you're not on television, I don't know who you are. I'm really sorry.
And that goes to show that, you're not alone on that, because a lot of wrestling fans, like, if you're not on TV, we don't know you. And that's what wrestlers have always said. If I'm not on TV, people will forget about you because they're going to go to the next best thing. And that's bad unless you just are that deep and that enthralled in wrestling that you keep up with everything.
I got life. I got too much stuff to do.
Thank you. But there is that few that just keep up with any and everything of wrestling and know everything and everybody.
Oh yeah.
If, like I said, for the majority of us, if you're not on TV, you are, and how are you significant, and what is your role in this?
Right.
And you have a lot of friends that watch wrestling too. So like a lot of times, especially in my case, I'll have somebody say, "Hey, Laura, you should check this person out." And I'll be like, okay, and I'll try to look some stuff up and, and okay. And that's how you get familiar. And then now with my nephew, he's 15. So, You know how we all were at 15. We had all the time on our hands, right?
Yeah.
Well, you know what?
Oh God, he watches everything. I'm like, do you sleep? Oh my God.
At that age, I would have been trying to watch everything too. Every single thing.
Mhm.
If it was wrestling
Yeah.
came out, I would have been watching it. But let's see. I went back and I watched this match actually on TV. It was better. It was better than what we thought it was. What we're basically saying it was. Mercedes put in a lot of work, and I said that too when we was there, Chris. That Mercedes put in a lot of work. The thing is, like I said, we didn't actually know when she first came out. She looked familiar, you know, like, okay, is that Mercedes Martinez? But hadn't seen her in a while because she hadn't been around. But she got in, and I thought she was doing pretty good work. But I actually watched the match, rewatched the match on TV. The match actually was pretty good. Now, Chris Statlander, she worked Statlander. She really did. Statlander, you know, to finish it off, Statlander really did great and pretty much finished it with her, with that finishing move. She did, the backwards, you know, what was that?
That was good, yeah.
Yeah, she had legs between legs,
I
and
really
I forgot what you call it, Chris, and went backwards. She pinned her that way, but the finish of Statlander was very good. But Martinez pretty much controlled that match. I don't know what it was.
Yeah, she did.
It's the veteran in her. She's had so many great matches.
It was pretty. It was decent match. It just, like I said, I agree with God. Oh man. Give me a second. I agree with Majestic Marie. I want to call you by your regular name, but I agree with Marie that it was no storyline, no build up to it. And I was wondering myself, why in the world are they having this match? And to tell you the truth, their styles are very similar. The similar build and everything. And usually when you have people like that haven't worked with each other, when they're similar like that, they're gonna have a harder time adjusting to a match. But I think if they have more matches with these two later on down the road, it would be pretty good. So.
Well, I was looking forward to this match because there was a little bit of a buildup from the Collision previous, because Martinez came out at some point and attacked Chris Statlander and Willow Nightingale after something that happened last week. So I was looking forward to this match.
Okay.
I knew who I knew it was her and everything. I think it's just because this was the very first time that I could see really up close, and I could see it in the CM Punk and Ricky Starks match, but there was a lot of missed, like you can see every little miss and everything.
The timing was off. Yeah. The timing was off.
So,
and just to kind of pull back the curtain a little bit, but most of you guys already know this. One thing I give WWE over AEW, their house shows.
I love their house shows.
And you got to think, what's the purpose of a house show, a non-televised event? It's live practice.
Right.
That's basically what it is. It's a live practice. You're in front of the crowd,
out.
And you try stuff out because you don't know if the powers that be are going to put you in a storyline with that individual you're wrestling against. So you get familiar with them in the ring. And everybody gets the timing down and everything and all that. And if you do that for about a week to a month, okay, at some point, me being professional, you being professional, we're going to mesh. I'm going to know your moves like the back of my hand, and it's going to come together. So when we're on TV, So when we're on TV, it's going to look beautiful.
Yeah, that's
AEW only does house shows once every other 2-3 months.
Yeah, that's why you had people like Steamboat and Flair who had wrestled 1,000 times. You know, Flair and Wahoo had wrestled like 500 times because these guys. Because you will see the same show. Like, I remember in Greenville. I was in Greenville, man, watching the show at the Greenville Auditorium, at the Memorial Auditorium. Then Wednesday night, I went to Greenwood Civic Center to see them at the Greenwood Civic Center. The same match, the card was the same way. On Friday night, I went to Spartanburg to watch the Spartanburg Memorial Auditorium. It was the same matches, same finish, everything. So, those guys really got to know each other. And everybody still was believing it, but I'm like, something's fishy here. That's what I was saying. Everybody was believing this thing, and I'm like, man, this is the same finish. And then you read in the paper, because back then, remember, they used to put the matches in the paper, Chris, the finishes, and
you
had a big, because wrestling was so big, it was in the paper. And you read the Columbia paper for the weekend. That was the same finish that they had in Greenville, Spartanburg, and Greenwood. I'm like, wow. So yeah, so they got very familiar with each other doing that, and it was very professional. That's the reason they did not miss many moves, and they can have so many classic matches. And I mean, and WWE has a lot of classic matches because of that. And AEW is doing good for what they're doing, though. Yeah. They're really doing good. For the ones that's really professional that know what they're doing. But when you have, like say, you have somebody that's very unfamiliar and come in and they can go against somebody that have their stuff together, and if they don't have their stuff together, then the match is off, way off. And that's what we saw in the Statlander Martinez match. But Martinez pretty much was going. Maybe she was going into business for herself or whatever, or she knew.
I don't think so.
I hope not.
No,
I don't think so. I think it just
shooting on her.
Yeah, I think that they just didn't. It wasn't meshing together, and they weren't coming together right. I don't think anyone was trying to be malicious or anything like that.
Right.
Yeah, their chemistry, like I said, they just need more time together.
Yeah.
And if AEW was able to do more house shows, non-televised events, where you got, like I said, that live practice against a different audience, a different crowd, a different setting. Because when you're in the ring, you got to listen to the crowd, you got to listen to your partner, you got to listen to your opponent, you got to factor all these things in while you're in that ring and trying to figure out, okay, this will work, that won't work, this will work, that won't work. So when we come on TV, everything comes together perfect and nobody knows the difference.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
But if they get in there again, I'm pretty sure it would be even better than what we saw because both of those girls are professionals and they want to do the best that they can. I'm not throwing shade.
Britt Baker and the other girl we talked about last podcast, they were
Taya Valkyrie.
Yeah, Taya Valkyrie. That's right.
Okay.
Yeah, they were really being shit on, and I hated that for them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go ahead. I got plenty of comments over here.
I do too. So yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead and roll.
All right, I'll go first. Marcus, Harry, Laura, and Majestic. This question is for all of you, but do y'all get an itch to listen to old themes when you're bored? I've been today. I miss themes like Seth Rollins' theme, 2014 to 2020. I love the beast.
I do that all the time. I have an AEW playlist, I have a current WWE playlist, and I have an old school WWE playlist. And that's what I listen to in the gym, in the car, whenever, just because I don't know, especially when I'm going to a show, I want to get hyped up for the show. So I'll listen to those playlists on the way there.
Yeah, I actually have been listening to a old Rock and Roll Express theme song.
Oh man.
It was what was it, the rock was it Boogie Woogie Land or something like that? But yeah, it was a song that I used to love, the entrance song, and it was like you hear the first couple of keys, you knew who was coming out.
Yeah.
But they only used that, I think, for like maybe 2 to 3 years, and then they moved on to something else. But that one was always my favorite. So I vibe out to that one sometimes. It's so funny. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Sometimes like the Mister and I, like if a song comes up on our playlist or something, we're like vibing out or whatever, I'll be like, one of us will be like, I was thinking of that song today. It like sometimes like when I'm at work, see, I don't work around people, I work around animals. So like a lot of times, like I'll be like walking around what I need to do or whatever. And sometimes I'm like, whoa. Just because I can, or I'll be bouncing around like Bianca Belair because I can.
Right.
All right. Darby Allin and Sting versus Swerve and his partner for All In. Your view on this?
Okay.
Is it a mystery partner or?
I don't know. I thought it would be AR Fox or something.
I think it is actually.
Good question.
I'm down with that. Darby Allin and Swerve, they do great work together. They have great chemistry. So I'm really excited to see that. I'm excited to see how Sting is going to fit into this match. So.
Yeah.
Well, he's probably, besides CM Punk, he's the biggest star on their roster. And so if you're going to have an arena full of 80,000 people, of course you're going to try to utilize Sting. And you don't want him out there in a one-on-one match because he's 63 years old. And so you put him in a tag team match, and please, dear Jesus up in heaven, do not let him go through a table.
All right.
Yeah,
Jack,
don't. Yeah, Sting does not need to go through a table. He does not need to.
Yeah, what's up, Jack Michael? Gonna read that?
All right.
Jack Michael, what's happening?
Hold up. Jack Michael said, "What's up, Harry and Chris? Let's go. Yes, 2 icons. Women is back. So, all right, go ahead. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Marcus, I can see everyone here calling wrestling down the middle with rightful praises and constructive criticism. I wish it was more fans like everyone here. We need more fans who wants wrestling to get better. Well, I appreciate that.
No
Thank
doubt
you.
about
Thank
it.
you.
Yeah, definitely.
Positively peachy.
Yeah. Exactly. People ask me how I'm doing sometimes, and I'm like, just peachy. Christine cannot stand Swerve. He needs to be pounded.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Speaking of entrance themes, Swerve's is pretty a good vibe. I like to listen to his.
Yeah.
I really haven't
Jade
paid
Cargill's
attention to
got a
Swerve.
badass thing too that I cannot find on Zedge because I want it as my ringtone on my phone, and I can't find it. So,
now Lex Luger had one back in the day, man. Lex Luger had one called the Slammer. Now that was my favorite Lex Luger theme, man, by him. Yeah.
That's one thing I never have got into. And I'm gonna be honest with you. As far as these musical themes by these wrestlers, no. Only listen. As far as memory, now I remember Flair. I remember Road Warriors. I remember Junkyard Dog, because Junkyard Dog was the first wrestler that I remember that actually came out to music all the time. Because back when I was a teenager, not a lot of people came out with music. Junkyard Dog started coming out in Georgia with another one bites the dust. Nobody else was coming out with music before then. Jerry Lawler was coming out with music in Memphis, but that was in 1983 or 1984, I think, when Junkyard Dog started coming out to another one bites the dust. Nobody else came out to music before then. So I had got to the point where people not coming out to music. So music wasn't a big deal to me. And right after he started coming out with another one bites the dust, the Road Warriors had got popular in '84, and they started coming out with their theme, the Queen. I forgot the name of that song, but they started coming out with their theme, and then that's when Nature Boy got his and everybody like that. But basically, I mean, Hulk Hogan's, I remember his real good and all that. And Coco Beware and these guys, I remember the songs that came out, but I never paid attention to it. It's just never been a big deal to me. And what was funny about it, when I was in high school, you came on, if you could be on the bus, and it was one kid. Remember, we had boom bosses, Chris, just like the boom bosses. We had boom bosses.
Telling our age here, kids.
And if a song came on, I remember the boy from New York City came on. Everybody cracked up. At my friend Scott. They said wrestling music. Then the Rocky Roll Express theme song came on. It was just on regular radio. Wrestling music. He's playing wrestling music. But because we used to record it on the cassette tapes and then play it on the school bus. But he was playing that music and everybody said wrestling music. So wrestling music became kind of corny for me, even if it was like say, I started liking the generic more than I did with the people because the people at first, they would play music that was actually popular out there, kind of like what AEW is doing now. Tony Khan had a lot of rights for those music for that music. But so it basically, I got to the point where I started ignoring people when they just had wrestlers, when they had music, because I remember that I will never forget that they will crack up on you if you played music that was that a wrestler used wrestler themes. They'll be like, though everybody liked wrestling, they will crack up on you if you was playing wrestling music. It was funny.
I think the people who have real songs, like real songs out there as their entrance music. It gives them like a step up, in my opinion, and makes them feel like a big deal.
Oh yeah.
Now, with AEW, their generic music really isn't all that bad. Mikey Ruckus does a really good job of composing their music. Eddie Kingston's is really good, and there's others as well. Toni Storm's original song that she came out to before the Outcast stuff. I mean, even my husband likes it, and he's not a wrestling fan. So,
oh wow.
He was like, "Oh man, this sounds like the riffs and stuff in it sounds like Iron Maiden." So, things like that. They do a good job over there.
All right. I think this is one of yours, Harry.
What's up,
Harry,
Victor?
Chris?
Yep.
Harry, I don't know if you saw the interview on Two Man Power Trip podcast. Jimmy Hart said he wanted to manage Pretty Deadly because they remind him of Beverly Brothers.
No, okay.
I could.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Jimmy Hart would be a great manager for Pretty Deadly.
I just don't. I'm not down with Pretty Deadly yet.
He's flamboyant, just like them. So
yes,
that would
boy.
be really cool.
Oh, I love Jimmy Hart. Don't get me wrong.
Yes, boy.
Pretty Deadly. They're pretty talented. I will give them that. I mean,
it's just we haven't seen them in the right situation yet. They've been with the Miz, and
I think one of them just got injured too, didn't they?
Well, me and Chris, we watched a lot of NXT,
shoulder.
and they pretty tough on NXT. I didn't really care for them too much. Chris started pointing out a lot of things about him when the first couple matches he saw with him. He talked about how talented they was. I don't really think much of them, but they are.
I had to get past the outfits.
Yes.
I got past the outfits,
but
I was like, okay.
They're very good. But like I said, I don't know why Jimmy Hart. I don't know why he would. I just don't think he would mesh with him too well. But probably would. But maybe that's
not. It might surprise you.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, I don't know what that means, but I mean, put it up there.
Chris is mad because Harry took the last pie. Man, stop that. Man, stop that.
I know what that's referring to.
Yes, Tina knows what. I mean, Marie knows what that is. But yeah, unbelievable.
All right, Chris, Laura, Jessica, and Harry, how long y'all been watching wrestling? I've been watching myself since '99 when I was 4. But I have family that has wrestling tapes from 1979. Been a fan for 24 plus years. I started watching in '95. I saw Shawn Michaels Royal Rumble '95 and said, "Who is that?" 11-year-old self, and rest is history.
Jesus. I became a fan, what was it, 83, 84, a real hardcore fan when Hogan beat Iron Sheik. I was watching it before then, but that's when I just really got my feet stuck in the cement. So that was over, 40 plus years now, almost.
40 years, yeah.
Yeah, 40 years. Yeah.
I've been watching longer than that.
40 years because I was born in '83.
I've been watching since '71, Marcus, believe it or not. When I was 4 years old, I started. My brother used to watch it religiously, and I couldn't stand it. I'd be like, turn that TV, because I like Gilligan's Islands and cartoons. They was on Saturday mornings. That's when wrestling was on every Saturday morning. I didn't want to watch that. I wanted to watch Gilligan's Island or cartoons. If it wasn't cartoons, it was Gilligan's Island. That's the only thing I liked was cartoons and Gilligan's Island. And
I bet you were sad when they finally got off the island.
Yeah. My brother, he wanted to watch wrestling. I'm like, what is this? What is this? And so I saw Sandy, George Scott, man, Brute Bernard. I saw all these guys, man. Rip Hawk, Ric Flair when he was a rookie in 1972. I was 5 years old. I remember going to kindergarten and everybody, and talking about Ric Flair. The teachers will talk to us about it. Some of the kids, a few of the kids knew back then because everybody watched wrestling. Just about, probably 70% of the country knew about wrestling because there was only 3 TV channels, and you had 3 TV channels, and you had UHF. So everybody knew these guys were celebrities. They was, that's back then when they will have on the news channels every year who is your favorite athlete. They will have a yearly thing, and at least 2 to 3 wrestlers, probably sometimes 4 or 5 wrestlers, and will make those lists all the time of who are the most famous athletes. When you had Joe Namath out there, you had O.J. Simpson, you had Wayne Gretzky, and all these guys. Wrestlers always made the list of the most famous or the best athletes the people's most favorite athlete in the country. Wrestlers always made that list back in the day. So that was pretty great, to have these guys to be that famous. And it could be, just during the territory days too. So you could have a Mid-Atlantic, people in the Mid-Atlantic area that just covered the Carolinas and Virginia. And, and it did reach up to New York a little bit and stuff like that. But, these guys could be just as popular as a Joe Theismann, somebody, a John Riggins, football player or something like that. These guys, or Reggie Jackson, baseball player, these guys were just as famous as they were, especially Andre the Giant and Dusty Rhodes back then.
Yeah.
Well, I was born and raised in it because my dad watched wrestling when he was a young guy, and he would go to watch Memphis wrestling in the Louisville Gardens in Louisville, Kentucky every Tuesday evening. He took my mom there for a first date, and he got a second one, so that was amazing. So I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for wrestling, I guess. So,
so you were literally born into wrestling from wrestling.
Yeah. Yep. And one of my first memories is being 4 or 5 years old, sitting in my dad's lap, going, "Macho man, macho man, macho man." So,
yeah.
Oh wow, that is awesome.
Harry and Chris, more of this is interesting with the ladies talk about women's division, but man, we talk about men's division. I like this partnership. We definitely got to do more of this.
Yes, definitely.
Do you think JS really did split, or are they trying to fool everyone?
It's a wait and see type thing, I guess.
I don't know, Jordan.
You never know with Chris Jericho and his wackadoodle ideas.
Mercedes Martinez is a good veteran in there. That only point Chris Statlander possibly gets is to a story and feud with this Harry and Chris.
Who knows, man? Who knows? I hope they continue to wrestle. I think they're both very talented, and I do think they will put together some classic matches once they get rolling and they get very familiar with each other.
Well, it seems to me that they're building towards a triple threat match between Chris Statlander, Mercedes Martinez, and Willow Nightingale for the title at some point. Yeah. So if they continue with that and putting Willow in there and just kind of breaking it up a little bit, I think it'll work perfectly.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that would make plenty of sense.
Marcus, that's the gripe I have about TK booking. He books matches with no bills, no steam. He even rewards the loser matches over the top champions. How does Hikaru Shida have to qualify for a match over Tony?
That's a good point.
Yeah, it is. And that's Go ahead.
No one thought that made any sense. Everybody was like, "What? Why?"
Yeah. Marie said it all there. I don't have to say nothing.
That's all need to say on that.
Said, "Hi, how are you doing?
What's up,
Harry,
Dirk?
Chris?
Dirk.
Wait a minute. Can this be a tease of Santana and Ortiz coming back from LAX in Collision, but with women? The women, Mercedes Martinez and Diamante, possibly. Maybe Homicide is coming back too. What do y'all think?
Ooh. That would be a good version of LAX if they do that.
Yeah. We're not sure, Dirk. That'd be very interesting.
I have been dying for them to do like a little LAX type thing. I was clawing for it last year when it was like Eddie versus everybody in the whole world. And, he didn't have any friends or whatever with him. And, Santana and Ortiz did end up being in that blood and guts match with him. But I was really hoping that Homicide and, what's his name? The other guy that was in LAX with him in TNA. Anyway, I was really hoping that those two would have come. Yeah, y'all know who I'm talking about. And I was hoping that those two guys would show up and then be like LAX versus, versus the Elite or whoever it was. And it didn't happen. And I was like, it was John Moxley. And I was like, of course it's John Moxley. But it was a dream. It was a dream. Maybe someday they'll get around to doing it.
Seemed like a filler to move on to bigger and better things. I'm going to catch up on these comments and then
Could be, Scott. Could be. Victor.
All right.
Yeah, don't get me
Tony
talking about
Khan is
Eddie.
watching Chris say this about the house show to get better. They have Jeff Jarrett in there with production. Yeah, again, go over.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Jordan. Who's next?
Were y'all shocked that Chris Statlander was the one to end Jade Cargill's streak?
Yes.
I knew she was.
Yes.
I knew she
I
could be a contender, but I wasn't expecting her to come back and win.
Yeah, I was not expecting that at all.
I thought they were going to build up to her doing it, but not all that fast.
Yeah, I didn't think it was going to be that fast either. I think they should have actually let because Statlander was out with that injury for a while. I think they should have let her build back up her stamina as far as as far as her talent level. Of course, it's there, but anytime that you go out with an injury in any sport, and Chris knows this, it's going to take a while before you get your groove back. I think they should have let that happen, and because a lot of people are talking about how Statlander, since she done won the title from Cargill, her matches have been underwhelming. So, and it's not that she don't have the talent to have outstanding matches, because all her matches I thought was outstanding before she went out with that injury. So I just think it's that she have not got into a groove, but I think she's getting a groove back. So I think everything's working out.
Yeah. So Dirk says Peaches and Powerbomb should have been in the magazine. What magazine was that?
No.
Okay.
Oh, should have been in that magazine. I don't know what magazine he's talking about, but
yeah,
interesting.
PWI, sure.
There you go, PWI. Yeah.
Yes.
That's what I'm thinking he might be talking about. All right.
Got a message for Chris, and I appreciate everybody with these comments. I'm getting to them.
Well, if it was, a list of Eddie Kingston's favorite podcasts, we'd be number one.
Yeah.
Oh,
Powerbomb's been blasting the Spice Girls. Tell me what you want. And their team. Hey, Spice Girls is still my jam.
Really? Oh wow.
Yes.
What the heck?
Man, but
everything.
I figure everybody been talking about Taylor Swift.
Hold on, let me read that. I got one comment I want to read before that.
We're too old for Taylor Swift.
Yeah. Dirk Benson said Chris listens to Grandmaster Flash when he's in the car, and Harry listens to Prince Purple Rain album when his favorite wrestler lose a match. Man, come on, man.
Oh,
wow.
That's funny.
All right. Well, let me finish this up. I'll finish this up so we can move on, hopefully. All right. Drew Ferrari says, "Sup, Harry and Chris. Question for you guys." Well, what the heck's going on? Question for you guys. High Peaches and Power Bombs. Who you want to see face Kenny Omega at All in London if you was the booker?
CM Punk.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Yeah. Kenny Omega versus CM Punk. That would be interesting.
Yep. If you want to make some money, do it.
Yeah. All right, let's finish this up. Drew says, "Oh, Chris, Peaches and Power Bombs is a fan of New Day, Positive, and Power Bombs. Chris, do the dance for Harry." Well, Chris is not on here right now. Maybe he's listening. I don't know. He'll be back. Drew, Ferrari, Harry, listen to Rick Rude theme after finished workout. Jack Michael, Tony theme is a ripoff of Barsadita, Peaches, and Power Bombs. Laugh out loud like WCW back then. Damian Hernandez. Damian, this first time I've ever seen you. Thank you for joining the Straight Up Wrestling Show. And hey, if you haven't hit that like, share, and subscribe on YouTube, definitely hit that. Join Straight Up Wrestling Show. Join Peaches and Power Bombs. My man Drew, Victor, Jordan. I think Jordan is already with y'all. Dirk, Marcus. Join up with the Straight Up Wrestling Show and Peaches. Well, you guys are already part of the Straight Up Wrestling Show. Join up with Peaches and Power Bombs, and my man Christopher Douglas is in the house. Damian Hernandez says Triple H is done as board of directors. I don't know anything about that. He says Triple H is done as board of directors. Damian Hernandez said that. So I don't know.
I haven't read it. I mean, the Endeavor deal.
No, go ahead.
The Endeavor deal will be official next month, but he's not going anywhere.
Yeah, I didn't think so either. So, Damian, I don't know anything about that. We don't know anything about that, but hey, we'll keep our eyes in tune. We'll keep our ears in tune, our eyes on it. to see what goes on.
Sugar Shane says you can't talk about wrestling music without mentioning the Freebirds Bad Street USA.
Oh man, hey, that right there is something, Shane. That's something that brings back. That is the second. I'll take that back. I probably heard that before Junkyard Dogs thing. Those two probably the first two things I heard in wrestling as far as wrestlers using music. And like I said, hey, Jerry Lawler did use music in Memphis, and what's the name? Majestic Marie's father probably can tell her that what Jerry Lawler used, and probably Bill Dundee and all the rest of them over there in Memphis.
He's right. He is right. Per an SEC filing announcement today, Paul Triple H Levesque will not be on the new board members entity for TKO after Endeavor acquires WWE officially next month. Triple H has served on WWE's board of directors since 2015. Now, this just means that he won't be on the board of directors, but that does not mean that he will not be the chief executive officer over creative. So those are two different things.
Yeah, that's good.
Basically, he's just lightening up his,
his load.
Yeah, lightening up his load. Okay. Yeah, I appreciate everybody being patient with comments. We're bouncing from subject to subject. I'm having to skip over some of y'all, and I'm sorry.
That's okay. I mean,
yeah, we still have one more match to talk about too.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, so yeah, y'all go ahead and talk about that match. And
okay. Well, it was the last match of the Collision show, and it was for the real World Championship. CM Punk versus Ricky Starks with the special guest referee Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. I really enjoyed this. It was fun from start to finish. I don't understand why Ricky Steamboat wasn't in the match itself. Like, he wasn't in the ring because
he's outside the ring. I was stunned on that.
He was just in a match last November. So he was healthy enough to be in there. Yes, so I don't know if it was just for dramatic effect, just to bring him. Oh no, there's a ref spot. What's Ricky Steamboat going to do now? And he rolls in there. That kind of thing might have been why. But I really enjoyed it. What did you think, Harry?
I thought it was really good, and I asked Chris. I said, Steamboat is outside the ring. He was like, yeah, man, yeah. So Chris had an explanation for it. Hopefully, when he gets back, he'll be able to talk a little bit about it. But
okay.
I was just pretty much stunned. But as far as the match go, to me, it seemed like a story. Which it has a story involved in this match, but you could pretty much tell where it was building. With Ricky Starks, his antics in the match, that he was building to just the where he's going to be this heel, and he's it's going to be hard to deal with. But it was a good match, and I think CM Punk, I think he got a little bit better as he was in there with this younger guy. I mean, he's in there. Ricky Starks brought a lot more energy, and it helped CM Punk, pretty much with his energy, and he stayed up there to leveled out with him. In this match. It was a really good match.
So what was your theory, Chris, on why Steamboat was on the outside?
What was my theory?
Yeah, I asked you when I said Steamboat's outside the ring, man. And you say, yeah, man, and you start telling me something about why.
Because I mean, think about it, man. Do you really want Steamboat at his age inside the ring? That's what I said. Do you really want him in there? I mean, and it would best suit him to be outside versus inside anyway. Because think about it like this too. How would it look if Steamboat was the main referee? He gets bumped, gets taken out, and you got a regular referee coming in. Where you could have the ultimate, the opposite what you had. The main referee gets bumped. Steamboat comes in, 1, 2, 3.
Well, you didn't have to do a ref bump. Actually, you could have just had him see him going down and about to count, and him seeing his feet on the ropes, and then he knocks it off.
Yeah.
And then counts. he was just in the ring, like I had mentioned a while ago. He just had a match back in November in North Carolina somewhere.
Yeah, his retirement match, I want to say it was.
Something like that. Yeah.
So I don't think it, and he did bump for Ricky Starks at the very end too. He did a beatdown, so he could have been in there. But it was more dramatic the way they did it, though. So I'll give him that. It would have just been cool if he was in there doing the officiating. It would have been cool to see. That was the only thing.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, I don't know what they was trying to do as far as if they wanted people to see him move around freely like that and be able to wave his hands, because he's a big deal in Greenville. So I mean, I don't know exactly what they wanted to do with that, but either way it goes, it still was kind of cool. Just to have him there, and he did get involved at certain points, but hey, I would have rather seen him in there, but I do get Chris's point. Just in case if he would have got knocked out or knocked down or whatever, he would have been out, and somebody else would have came and finished up the match, and and it been better if Steamboat jump in there and get the pin, and get 1, 2, 3. So I do agree.
Right. Right. It was a good match. I think CM Punk at one point did a superplex on Ricky Starks.
Right.
Yes.
He was, because they were right in front of me, so I saw that one. And I don't know, it was just back and forth. It was really good. I like the fact that for the majority of the match, they were inside the ring. I think they only went to the outside once, and it was for like maybe 30 seconds. Yeah. So it wasn't long, and but the match, it was really good. Ricky Starks looks really good. I think that they are trying to do damage control with Ricky Starks over here on Collision. I've been saying it for weeks now that the best thing in the world to ever happen to Ricky Starks was him getting moved to Collision and him getting involved with CM Punk, because he was just looking. That Jericho feud did him it did him no favors at all. He looked worse coming out of that thing than he did going in. And him moving over here to Collision, working with CM Punk, FTR, and the like, has just, it's brought him up like this. And at first I was like, why are they turning Ricky heel when everybody loves him, right?
Right.
But it's going to work. It's working. So I think it's just to refresh his character a little bit, because he did get, it was like, for a little while. So
they didn't know exactly what direction to take him in. All right, Damian Hernandez. Let me get through these real quick.
Okay.
He was talking about Chris, the board that Triple H won't be on the new board when Endeavor takes over. All right, Damian Hernandez said it was tweeted by Ross Sapp. Triple H just stepped down as. Oh, so Triple H stepped down on the board from the board of directors. Okay, Jack Michael says Harry and Peaches and Power Bombs. Listen to Tony's old theme. It's a ripoff 70s classic of 80s heart. Barracuda. Okay, yeah, I know that song. Okay, all right, but said Barracuda or something first. I didn't know that, but yeah, definitely. I love that song, Barracuda by Heart. Travis Richardson says, "Sup guys? Hi Peaches and Power Bombs. What's up, Travis Richardson?
What's up, Travis?
Travis, go over there and join my. Go over there and hit like, share, subscribe on my girls' Peaches and Power Bombs page. All right, and Travis Richardson says, "Did we talk about Tony Storm segment in Collision, Peaches and Power Bombs?" Yes, we did talk about that, Travis.
Yep.
All right, Drew Ferrari said, "Yep, I agreed, Harry." Drew Ferrari, Chris, Jordan Payne. What do y'all think about the Cody versus Brock match? And was it too obvious that EO was going to cash in? Jordan, we'll talk about that in just a little bit. We're gonna be talking about. We're going to be talking about Summerslam in just a little bit. We'll talk about that. My man D-Skill H-Town is in the house. What's up, DSK? He says, Damian Hernandez, Triple H didn't step down. He just wasn't chosen for the board for the new combined company. Might mean he will be the head of the WWE division. Okay. Yeah, that's right. That sounds reasonable there.
Yep. Right. Yep. And Vince McMahon will be involved on the business side of things, but I believe that Triple H will still be head of creative.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So, On our side of the table at Peaches and Power Bombs, we have Timothy, and he says AEW Collision is the A show. Dynamite has become the B show. I know people will have their opinions, but if you listen to commentary on Collision, they bring more excitement during the match, while Dynamite commentary team doesn't bring energy. I think they have a lot of energy. I just can't really understand a whole lot of what Excalibur is saying, because he's saying 27,000 words in 5 seconds. So it's really hard to get behind that. Well, Ian Riccaboni has that classic sound to his voice, and he's very crisp, and he enunciates his words. So I can understand everything that he says. And I don't know, it just has that really old school 80s commentary vibe to him, and he's my favorite.
I like
he's my absolute favorite.
I mean, when he's a Ring of Honor, when they came on at 12 o'clock at night, 4 o'clock at night, funny, I liked him a lot. But as far as Collision being the A show, I mean, Dynamite's still the A show. It's just, it is what it is. But it's going to be the A show, and Collision will be the B show. It's just that Collision looks like it's on the verge of trying to catch up. It's catching up, and it could surpass Dynamite, but it definitely is not going to do that because hey, football season is on the verge, man.
That's going to be a rough one, man. That's going to be a rough one.
It's going to hurt it. It's going to hurt it real bad.
But SummerSlam hurt it. SummerSlam hurt Collision. But I think what he means is that he is enjoying Collision, and he thinks that the content is better than Dynamite. And I agree too. Personally, I like it. There are things on Dynamite that I'm interested in. MJF, I love MJF, and I'm always going to want to know what he's up to. And, I want to see. I haven't watched Dynamite yet. We had a bad storm last night, so I didn't get a chance to see it. And I want to see what's happening with the JAS and things like that. Yeah. Has the Young Bucks answered FTR? Things like that. I want to see it. So
gonna be very interesting.
And they have answered FTR, so it is on, because this past Wednesday they did call them out.
Okay, awesome.
They have accepted.
And Shane says, it was refreshing to see Ricky Starks. I am tired of CM Punk and his fake championship. And Christine says that she likes my short hair and thinks it's very cute. Thank you. I just got it cut last week, so I appreciate that.
Thank you.
It's too hot.
I had to take care of dinner.
Hey, that's okay.
Gotta do it.
All right. So let's get the ball rolling. And we will get ready to talk about SummerSlam. And because SummerSlam, of course, is a WWE show, to get ready for it, we will have Brock get us ready for SummerSlam.
Let's do this!
I sent you earlier.
I haven't seen it yet. I saw it, but I haven't watched it.
It's funny. What?
So first off, to start the night of SummerSlam, we had Logan Paul versus Ricochet. Logan Paul gets the win. He an anonymous person that works for him on his YouTube channel, I don't know, handed him some brass knuckles, and he attacked Ricochet with that and tucked it away before the ref could see it, and he got the 1, 2, 3. This match was very fast paced. But very tasteful, not, hokey in any kind of way. I thought this was a perfect way to start SummerSlam.
Yeah, it was a great match. I mean, I thought it was a very good match. If you're going to give it a letter grade, I would give it a B. It just it had all the elements that you want in a match. I mean, they did have some wrestling there. Of course, they had, the athletic moves. You're going to have that Ricochet, but we know that Logan Paul is very athletic too. But these guys put together a great match. And then, hey, Logan, he needed a little extra to take out Ricochet. Ricochet is no joke, man. He's a veteran, been around a little longer. And, hey, Mystery Man come out there.
But you should have known something was up when he told the ring announcer, Samantha Irvin, Ricochet's fiance, hey, you're going to get pleasure out of calling my name as the victor of your fiance. You're going to get pleasure. You gonna do it?" And she just looked at him like, "No."
I
But
like I was pretty surprised that she actually just announced him professionally after he won. I mean, she had the stink face and everything. But
you know what? It would have been funnier, I think, and it would have added a little bit more to the storyline. If she would have like won her the match, Logan Paul. You know,
Yes.
if she would have just did it like that, won her the match, Logan Paul. You know, that would have added a little bit more to it. You know, I would think versus
I
doing
think so
it
too.
professionally.
It's funny though. She was matchy with Logan Paul because they were wearing the same colors.
I know. And he
I
even
didn't even know
said
that.
something about
I didn't
that.
even notice that. Wow.
Yep.
That
Yep.
is
It was pretty funny. Good match. Good way to start off. Laura, I'm sorry. What did you think? I probably just glossed right over you. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. I was agreeing with the guys. It was a great start. It was really good.
Okay. All right. Next up, my personal favorite match. Y'all probably know why. No, honestly, it really was. I think
Yes, it
that
was.
Brock Lesnar versus Cody Rhodes. Yes, everybody picks on the fact that we all don't know why Brock attacked Cody to begin with, but it's just Brock being Brock at the end of the day. And that's, if that's all we have to go with, that's just fine with me. And this match, oh my goodness, him just kept throwing Cody out, telling him to save himself, stay out there if you know what's good for you. Cody selling like a beast, making Brock look like he's this giant, killer of a person.
Yes.
Perfect. I loved every second of this. And Cody finally coming in, hitting the crossroads 3 times on Brock Lesnar for the 1, 2, 3, and Brock being my Brock and showing, giving credit where it is due and holding up Cody's hand at the very end.
I was
perfect.
Really shocked by that.
I wasn't. Not with this current Brock. Not with this current Brock.
Yeah.
I was reading online. A lot of people were saying Brock passed the torch. Honestly, I think it was just a sign of respect. Cody don't need that torch. He's already created his own path and then some. That's not passing the torch. I just think it was the sign of respect. He earned Brock's respect.
Well, just like Chris and I, we've been talking, that's just a path to help build Cody up even more, make him even stronger as he goes for that Roman Reigns title. Seth Rollins title is not the prize. It's not the prize. A lot of people think that, he should be wrestling Seth Rollins, and they kind of like tease that a little bit with Monday Night Raw, but they ended up teaming up together with Shinsuke Nakamura, to take on, who did they take on?
Judgment Day.
Yeah, Judgment Day. But that right there, that's not the goal. The end goal is for Cody Rhodes to take the belt off of Roman Reigns, and Cody Rhodes is going to be the next big champion, big time champion, the big name. He's going to be the one that's going to be out there in the WWE. And what's the name? And Brock was a good, they used, not saying they used him as a stepping stone, they just used Brock to make him look even stronger. And now he can go on to the next opponents. He has taken out his toughest opponents. He went through Seth Rollins. He went through the thing with the shoulder and everything with that. The broke arm with Brock attacking and beating him down. He was able to take him down. Now he's able to go and take out a series of opponents that's pretty good opponents, and and look forward to having a smooth sail toward that match next year in WrestleMania with Roman. But that right there, better believe that's the ultimate goal. And that's one thing that Chris and I have been talking about. And I know
I've got something to say about that too.
A lot of people don't want to hear that. Go ahead.
I got something to say about it, and I kind of got a gripe in my explanation of this.
Okay.
I'm on TikTok, and there's a lot of wrestling knowledgeable people on TikTok, and a lot of fanboys of Roman Reigns. And when I mean fanboys, I'm talking about die-hard fanboys that can't see their face past their nose, or vice versa. There are people out there that are literally to the point where they see Roman Reigns as the be-all, end-all, and can't understand why Cody will be the next one. They look at Cody like, oh my God, he wrestled Brock 3 times. He's getting thrown all over the ring at SummerSlam. He only threw like 7 punches in the whole match and 2 kicks, and Brock's just tossing him around like a newborn baby. And this is
Well,
who
of
y'all
course he. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. And then they're like, and this is the person y'all want to beat Roman Reigns. It ain't gonna happen. He's gonna wrestle Seth Rollins. Really? Why?
That's ignorance at its best.
Thank you. I'm just like, okay, the man has come out and said his dad has physically held the WWE Championship, but never held it as champion. He touched it. He touched it, but he wasn't the champion. He's like, that's the only title his dad never got in his whole career. And that was the end goal. So why in the world would you want to negate all that storyline, that history, that legacy, and make him face Seth Rollins?
Exactly.
It would not work, because to me, the title that Seth Rollins is holding is kind of the current version of what the WCW title, the old world championship. It to me, it feels kind of like that. And his dad already held that. That's already been done. He's never been WWE champion. He's never held that. And that title, whether anyone wants to say that, Seth Rollins is a world champion too, well, maybe, but he's the second world champion. He's not the world champion. That is Roman Reigns up here.
Face of the company.
That's right.
Seth may be a world champion, he may be a fighting champion like you alluded to and everything, and that's all great. That's all fine and dandy. That's wonderful, because you're building a legacy for a championship that's new. So you're trying to push that title. I get it. But the WWE championship is already set in stone. The legacy is already there.
Exactly. And that's not where Cody needs to be. Now, use that title to build someone up like Damian Priest.
Oh, yeah.
That's what that is for.
Yeah.
That's what we're going towards, and I can't wait for that. And we'll talk about more like that later. But
wrestling has more than one royal family.
Right.
Yep.
It's all there.
And Seth Rollins is not part of he is now, but he doesn't have that legacy. He doesn't have a royal family. I mean, he does now. His daughter could say that, but not him. So
exactly. But yeah, I mean, and it just cracks me up when I go on TikTok and I hear these guys like, oh, Roman, he doesn't need this. Cody doesn't need to beat him. He's going after. I'm like, are y'all guys that smart that you're just that stupid?
And I have one question to that too. If Cody is not the right person to take the title off of Roman, then who in the heck is?
That's true.
Thank you. Because I can't see Damian Priest in that spot, even though he's money in the bank. I mean, I can't see as much as Finn Balor.
Yeah.
No, heck no.
Not yet.
It's people there that can take the belt off of Roman, but you want somebody that can come in and be a long-term champion, or somebody that can come in and be a champion to represent the company. And if he loses the title, he can win the title back within 2 to 3 weeks or a month or something like that. You want somebody to represent that title to where you can say, okay, this is a real world champion. You wanted to be a world champion in the vein of Hulk Hogan or Ric Flair or somebody like that, an old school type. And that's the thing with Roman Reigns. He have given you that old school type feel. And everybody that knows wrestling, even if you don't like Roman Reigns, they know this guy's a legit world champion. Even though he's, people get here and say, okay, he's part-time and everything like that. But they cannot deny that this guy has a presence about him. He's been dominant every single time he goes out and he does what he says he's going to do. He backs it up. So man, and that's the kind of champion they need. And Cody Rhodes, he's good. He's great on the mic. He has the look. He has everything. He has the name. He has everything needed to get into the general public, which wrestling needs to get back to get that name out there to the casual fans, to the general public. Man, Cody Rhodes will be a phenomenon, and I think, I definitely think that that's what they're looking at. That he will bring in new faces to the business, new fans in the business, and that's what you need.
And
Go ahead.
Cody already has that on his side because he already does have this legacy. People know who his dad is. And just because they know who his dad is, they're going to be like, oh, this is his son and he's going for the world championship that his dad never got. I want to see this. Because I used to watch his dad in the 80s, or I heard about my dad telling me about Dusty Rhodes in the 80s,
Exactly.
Things like that. And he's got that presence about him that is so likable. You're drawn to whatever he's saying, whatever he's doing. He looks professional. You can put him out on a billboard.
Oh yeah,
Exactly.
And
exactly. Yes, that's
it's perfect. Nobody else fits that. And that's not a knock on anybody else. I think everyone in that company, who is on their roster is a very talented person. But, they're just not, it's not that they don't have it. They don't have that prestige look to them now. That doesn't mean that they won't ever get that. It's just that right now, that presentation on their part is not there.
Yeah.
Did anybody check out the Cody Rhodes documentary on?
Yes. Fantastic.
Good.
Yes, it was great.
I have not seen it.
You got to check it out, Harry.
Yeah, Harry, you got to, man.
I definitely will.
In addition to all the things that y'all have said, too, the one thing too that Cody has done he's kind of carried on from his dad. He revolutionized wrestling. He had a hand in revolutionizing wrestling with AEW, the formation of it and everything. So, I definitely, when it's all said and done, I definitely could see Cody doing something like Triple H is doing now, whether he stays with WWE or he goes back to AEW. I mean, he has put a stamp on the business to where he's gained the respect and once he achieves that dream of world champion, I think it's going to be very special. It's going to be emotional for a lot of people.
Oh yeah.
I was thinking he was going to win at Mania 2, but I knew that in the back of my mind they were going to try to at least have Roman break Pedro Morales' record, which he is already dead. I don't see them going to Bob Backlund or Hogan's record. That would be fall of next year. So I think Mania is just the perfect place to do it.
He hasn't beaten Hogan's record yet?
Not his biggest one.
No,
his second record he'll beat in October. And then Bruno Sammartinez's second record he will beat in February. Jeez. But not their biggest ones.
Yeah, Hogan had that thing for about 4 years at one time. I remember 4.5 years.
Yeah, it was
long.
Hogan and Backlund were 4 days apart.
Yeah.
It was Backlund and then Hogan.
For a long time, Chris.
I know ain't nobody never gonna. Well, I know Hogan had it for a long time, but I know ain't nobody ever gonna touch Bruno's boy.
Hey, no.
Hell no.
No, he had to be
18 years or something crazy like that. Was it 20 something years he was champion?
He would have to be champion until what was it, November the 7th of 2030 in order to get that one.
Goodness sake.
And you know what's so funny? You said 2030. My granddaughter just started kindergarten, and if he held it that long, my granddaughter will have 6 years before she graduates high school. She's a class of 2036.
Wow.
So think about that. Put that in perspective, why don't you?
Yeah, they would lose people in droves because me and Alora have been making jokes all week about people having the attention span of a gnat nowadays.
Yeah.
Because
Right.
we've been putting out videos for years, right? And it's just been doing a little bit here and there. And I put out shorts from Collision, and they're like 20 seconds long, and they're getting thousands of views on them. And I'm like, yep.
Yeah, that's what people do. Yeah.
So yeah, no, people would not stick around for that. People would not stick around for that.
All right, Drew, this was a good match, good storytelling. Also, Cody is good at, and Brock selling. Good at, I guess, him and Brock selling. So Harry and Chris.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Didn't Chris say a long time ago, this gives Rocky vibes? Cody proved to Brock, this is my time. Brock shake Cody's hand, was not planned, either talked about, unexpected.
Yeah, we had Chris had what we had, Chris, we had specials on that. The
Road to the Chase or something like that. It was a 2-part series.
We called it the Chase. And we talked about it, and we had a lot of our friends on the Straight Up Wrestling show. Some of them was like, this don't make sense. Cody should have won then. They was all the stuff that we talked about. That's what someone was talking about.
Yeah, everybody wanted Cody to win at this past WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, it would have been a good feel-good moment, yes, but you would have always had that but. If Cody would have won it at this year's WrestleMania, what's next? What's the next challenge? I mean, it would have been too quick. I mean, there's been plenty of people who win the Royal Rumble that didn't win the title. Shinsuke Nakamura they dropped the ball with Shinsuke, and Shinsuke was hot as fire, and against the perfect opponent, him and AJ, who had history together, for God's sake.
Yeah.
That could have been a beautiful match.
They're about to do a few with Shinsuke and Seth, I think, which I'm like 100% down for that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Seth he's got to have opponents, and I think Shinsuke's the perfect opponent.
I was one of those people, and I was really upset at first that Cody didn't win at Mania. Right. But I think that the storyline of the imploding of the bloodline needed to happen first, because Cody needs to be smart and wait until Roman is at his most vulnerable.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
Oh yeah.
Alma says, I wanted to bring this up. Prayers for the people in Maui, Hawaii.
Yes.
I didn't know that.
I didn't.
Yeah, they got wildfires out there on the island of Hawaii.
All prayers to them, man.
Wow.
Yeah.
Definitely.
The last I heard was 36 people dead, so it got up to 53. Wow.
Yeah.
May the Lord comfort all their families. I mean, that's just.
Yeah.
Wow, that is rough.
Yeah. Thank you, Jet. That's nice. Thank you.
Good match. Good story.
Like, share, and subscribe if you want to hear more.
There you go.
Heyman said Roman did something nobody else done, is make titles be universal by all city, and he said people in NXT is watching that and how they can do it, but he said they can't now.
Okay.
Okay.
But yeah, honestly, Roman, I'm so proud of Roman because, he's went through a lot, because WWE tried to push him when it was clear that he was not being received.
Yes, yes, nobody wanted him.
Roman, to me, has been so graceful through it all. I think it's helped him build a thicker skin. And I said for years, when I first started blogging and everything, I said, if they turn this man heel, it's gold. Like, it's what's going to work. Look where we're at now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm just like, 10 years ago, we would have never thought this, right?
Never.
Good Lord, no.
I don't know. Chris used to buy tickets. Chris tell you this. He used to buy tickets and when I wasn't going to wrestling. I couldn't stand it. He still would buy. Anytime he go out and, wrestling come to Greenville, he would go and buy tickets. Harry, let's go to wrestling. I ain't know what was going on. But, I would go with him, and I'm just like, and, I saw Roman Reigns. I had been seeing him. I'm like, I had interest in this guy. I'm like, and Chris like, Roman Reigns, man, Roman Reigns. I said, Chris, there's something about this guy, man. This guy right here is gonna be a superstar. You know, he'll be a superstar, but you know, he's going through those leukemia things. I'm like, wow, you know, he had setbacks and stuff like that. But I wasn't watching wrestling. But anytime I saw him, he just had that presence about him. He just had something about him, you know. And I'm like, this guy right here could be the biggest thing in wrestling if he's pushed right. So I guess they really saw that. And, you know, Vince saw that, and he made sure that he put him in that position. And this is somebody that I'm glad that they forced on the wrestling community, not like Bronson Reed or something like that. I think is being shoved down people's throats. But, Triple H.
I think they were trying to rush Roman, and, you know, Roman handled everything gracefully. Yes. And I want to tell y'all too that he is so nice. He is such a nice guy. Oh,
that's great. Haven't met Roman, but I did get to see Roman, and it was so funny because he actually showed up to that SmackDown back in February. He showed up to SmackDown, and he came in on this big old red tour bus that he owns. The thing was tricked out. It was nice. And it goes down past the arena, makes a U-turn, comes back up, and I'm like, oh, that's got to be Roman. Everybody's like, is that? And everybody's talking to security, and they're like, yeah, that's Roman coming. And we're expecting, Roman to be sitting somewhere where you can't see him. No, Roman was literally sitting at the door on the jump seat with his feet propped up on the dash. So you could actually see him. You were like, that's him right there.
Everybody tell him that's not good. What if you get in a wreck?
Yeah, I'm like, he's just literally sitting right there at the door with his feet propped up on the dash, just chilling. Everybody can see him. I'm expecting him to be in the back of the bus where you can't see him. And I'm like, okay, all right.
Christine said her no was at LA Knight winning the title. I was being funny. Ray, one of y'all's fans, what's up?
Ray, what's up, Ray? Ray, what's up?
Thank you, Victor. And Christine, don't you think Roman's got a tad bit obnoxious and big for his britches? He needs to defend the title more. I would say I wouldn't mind seeing him defending the title more.
No. He's a superstar. He's a superstar.
He is an attraction because when you get that big, you are an attraction. That's like Andre the Giant. Andre got to a point he didn't have to wrestle every night. Andre got to the point he could wrestle once every other 3 or 4 months and wrestle in New York City, wrestle in California, wrestle in Canada, wrestle in Texas, and and it was only for a couple of days at a time he was in those areas, but you didn't see him every day all over.
Yeah. Dusty Rhodes was like that in the 70s and 80s before he finally settled down with Jim Crockett Promotions. Ernie Ladd was like that. You had certain people out there that can wrestle, that travel like that and can wrestle anytime they wanted to. They was just, like you said, they was attractions. And, these wrestlers like Roman Reigns, Hulk Hogan, people like that, even Ric Flair, people like that, Dusty, Magnum TA. These guys have that special quality where they can make wrestling. They could be like a boxer, where they could, if they wanted to wrestle every 3 months or whatever, they could actually do that. Somebody like The Rock, if he came back and wrestle right now, everybody will come out to see him wrestle. There's no anything about it. Not just wrestling fans, not just people in Hollywood. It's people that used to watch wrestling and people who heard about him being a wrestler will come and watch him wrestle. Definitely tune in to watch him wrestle.
I would definitely be there.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd be there, but I do a no call, no show. But for that one, boy, you know me, boy.
He's that type of an attraction.
He'd only have to be in there for 90 seconds, and I would be right there.
And you know what? In all actuality, if WWE wanted to do that, we know they're not charging. They on Peacock. They show these premium events, but they could charge $119 for that doggone pay-per-view, and a lot of people will pay it. So it's just,
all right. So we need to move along pretty quickly. The next thing was the Slim Jim Battle Royal, and you all are welcome to say anything you want, but there's only one thing really to say.
Man, Chris. What? All right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Was there really anybody else to win that thing besides him if he had to be in that thing?
I wish Sheamus would have won it, but hey, I can roll with it.
Can you
like LA Knight.
imagine
What's that?
what would happen if it was not LA Knight?
It wouldn't have been good. I mean,
no,
it wouldn't have been good at all. People would be ticked off. So I mean, they made the right decision, and I mean, he deserves it. He definitely deserves it. He haven't just worked hard on the mic to try to attract people. He has worked hard in the ring, so he definitely deserved it. He deserved it. I will say that.
All right, let's move to the next thing. This got a lot of flack online, and I don't really understand why. Well, maybe I understand why. I heard a lot of flack that this was not any good, and I went and watched it, and I thought it looked real. I thought they hit hard. I enjoyed this in and of the match itself. It might be because Ronda has just been so underwhelming since she's come back, and her heart just hasn't been into it.
Right.
So maybe that is why. Maybe it felt rushed because Shayna Baszler came and attacked her out of nowhere, and now Ronda's gone. But of the match itself, without the, if you take out all the build-up stuff and everything and all the problems with Ronda, I liked this match. I really enjoyed it.
It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad at all. It wasn't as bad as what people out here want to say about it. It was MMA rules, so it's going to be totally different. You got a lot of wrestling fans who don't watch MMA, and so they're gonna judge it from a wrestling standpoint. But they was trying to wrestle. They basically was wrestling an amateur type style match, and with some martial arts, some judo type things thrown in there, some Shotokan martial arts thrown in there. But it was a pretty good match. It was a pretty good match when you look at it from that standpoint. But I understand some of these people, they come in, they just expect a regular wrestling match. But I'm glad Endeavor, I'm pretty sure Endeavor, them being with Endeavor, they wanted to do this. They wanted to test the waters. And I think it actually came off good because Ronda and Shayna actually met each other through the MMA, MMA training. So I think it was a good idea to put those two in there like that. And I was saying that before the match. I was telling Chris, I said, I hope they do MMA rules, but I was just joking. I didn't think they was going to do it, but they went ahead and did it. And I thought it was okay. It turned out pretty good. It wasn't bad at all.
Maybe it was because no one knew it was an MMA rules match until it happened.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
If they built it a little bit more and told people that that's what they were going to do, it would have been different. But I knew it was when I watched it because, we were at the AEW show, so we didn't watch it live.
Right.
So we watched the replay and, people were just all over this match. And I was like, what is their problem? This was hard hitting. They were really laying it in on each other. And I was like, this is great. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, kind of like
I just think they weren't feeling it, and the one takeaway I have from it is that they really held Ronda back as far as mat wrestling goes, because watching her and Shayna doing the takedowns and holds and stuff, Ronda can really get down with that, and I was how come we never see this in her actual matches?
Yeah,
you need to let her be herself. And it would get over a lot better.
They could do that, but everybody can't adapt to that style, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Because you really...
She can't be giving everybody black eyes all the time either.
This is true because, granted, when you're training to wrestle, you know how to fall. You know how to contort your body to try not to get hurt, but we know incidents do happen. But everybody, if Ronda really wanted to keep you down on the ground, you ain't getting up. You ain't getting up unless you know what to do to counter it. And everybody don't know that. So, you gotta mix it in just enough to give it that realism, but give a little leeway to your partner where they can wiggle out of something.
It would have been basically
it's about finding the right balance.
Yeah. Basically, it would have been Chad Gable 4.0. I'm just saying that's how much you magnifying it on that side of the fence in wrestling with women wrestling. If you let Ronda go and do what she knows how to do, then it's basically, like I said, it's a Chad Gable, 4.0 that they're trying to maneuver through all these things, because in MMA, in judo, and the things that she trained in, and she trained, her mom did it, trained from a young age at doing it. If she did everything that she knows how to do, then these women are not going to be able to, like Chris say, they're not going to be able to adapt to that style. It's going to be harder. But somebody like Shayna, who came up a little bit in that with her, definitely would. And there's other women that could actually do it. But like you said, Laura, there's a balance to that, and she will have to be more than a part-timer, which Ronda has been since she's joined the WWE, basically a part-timer. She will have to be more than a part-timer and be there with these ladies to be able to get them to get used to what she's doing in the ring, and for them to be able to counter it and make it look good. Because of course, she got to the point where she knew how to let other people get their offense, but these women had to get their offense to make themselves look good. And I guess her not being there enough didn't give them enough time to do it. Victor, what's up?
He says it's very shocking they did something different, Peaches and Power Bombs, at MMA match in a stadium. And Shayna won with an ending of a story for Ronda that gets Shayna the rub. Yeah.
But you know what? I love that the vignette that they did right before their match, that go home show on Raw.
Really good.
Right. Victor said that too.
I came in late on that because Harry was covering. We were covering the show live on our podcast, and I came in late. And Harry was like, "Oh man, you gotta see it, man. The interview and the promo." And I was like, "What?" I was like, I'm trying to catch up. So when I saw it, I was like, "Oh my God, I can actually feel this."
Yeah.
And I love how they actually let Shayna show a humanitarian side of her versus just being a machine. Because
right.
You see how they always have her, I'm big bad Shayna. But they let her human side come out and show that they are really, it almost gets me emotional just thinking about how they really are genuinely friends and how much they genuinely do love and care for each other. Especially when Shayna was talking about, my goddaughter may never forgive me when she gets older and see what I did to her mom.
That was personal.
I was like, I'm like, this is money. I'm like, this is money.
And if rumors are true and Ronda's not coming back, we're not going to get that rubber match.
Yeah, and yesterday they had a very good match. On Monday Night Raw, it was a very good match between Shayna Baszler and Tony Starks. That was a very good match. And then after that match, Shayna won the match, but it was a very good match between, Tony Starks is very rough and tough, just like Shayna. But right after that match, she went over and she talked to Becky. Becky was out there and she said, I didn't need your help or whatever. And she told Becky that she was next. Becky Lynch told her, I look forward to it. But Shayna is pretty much, she's getting a lot of bill to what's going to happen next. And it's good to see, because I think Shayna got the wrong end of the stick after she was in the tag team with what's the girl, the lady she was in tag team with, Chris, guys?
Before Ronda?
That title.
Natalia?
Natalia, yeah.
Yeah. So I think she didn't, she pretty much, they had her
She was also tag team champions with Nia Jax as well.
I mean, Nia Jax, the last one. Yeah, Nia Jax.
Yeah.
But after that, they pretty much just had her just pretty much out there. Basically,
I'm glad
lost.
she's finally getting her flowers, because I love Shayna Baszler. She's like one of my favorites.
Yeah.
All right, we're trying to move on. That's why I'm just kind of bringing comments up, as we go on. We had the Intercontinental Championship with Gunther versus Drew McIntyre. Ooh. Talk about stiff, talk about hard hitting, talk about, oh man,
this is a banger.
Yep.
I see what you did there.
I actually didn't mean that, but yeah.
I see what you did there.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people thought Drew was gonna win this match, but man,
Well,
Nope.
you gotta think
Nope.
he just wait a minute. He just broke
No,
who's
he hasn't broke it yet. He's like 30-something days away.
well
He
no,
did just
not
break
Hunter's mark.
Pedro's.
Pedro, that's it. Pedro.
Oh,
Yeah, he just
okay.
broke
Yeah.
Pedro's.
Poor,
Yeah.
Poor Pedro.
well, let's talk about that. I was
Pedro
about to
Morales.
say. Poor Pedro, poor Puerto Rico. You know, their prestigious dude on there. All of his records are getting beaten 1 year.
Hey, Pedro,
And that was Harry's man too, boy.
Look, I know y'all did not see this guy. You know, I know y'all didn't come up with him, but this guy, hey, no crime for Pedro, because Pedro, it seemed like Pedro had that title for years, and even after he lost that title, it seemed like he still had that title. And remember, he did win he was a WWF champion. Pedro Morales was huge. I mean, he was huge. I mean, outside of Bruno Sammartino, and I mean, you got to go before Antonio Rocca, who was before Bruno Sammartino. But outside of those two, as far as the legends, the classics of WWF, WWE, classic, the most popular people that ever did it is Pedro and Bruno, man. Those guys was just like, boom. And I mean, you do have, like, say, Antonio Rocca before them, who was just huge. But Pedro was a mainstay with the WWF, man, for like 12 years. That he was like he was Roman status, with that company. That's when you had 17 to 25 million people watching wrestling every week. But he was Roman stat. The way Roman is looked at today, that's the way Pedro was looked at. I mean, Madison Square Garden every Monday night was sold out, 20,000 people, and when Pedro came out there, everybody stood up. It was a standstill. He was like Bruno. So no crime for Pedro. Break his records or whatever.
Hashtag no crime for Pedro.
Yeah,
there you go.
Well, it's just a little sad because it's all happened within the last 2 months. So that's all. It was like, boom, Pedro's done, and I'm like, oh, poor Pedro. But I get what you're saying. But Gunther,
He's a monster, man. He's a monster.
He's becoming my second favorite in that company. I love him. There's a personal.
Dad Gable.
There's the personal connection with Gunther. I have Austrian heritage in my family.
Okay, really?
My great-grandfather sailed from Austria to here in the late 1800s.
Okay.
So, and my great-grandmother, her family is from Germany. She was born over there, and they came over here when she was about 4 years old. So I have a lot of heritage connection towards him, so I just it does me proud to see him on a big stage.
Nice. And it's so funny because Harry never heard of Gunther or Walter until I told him about that match in NXT Europe UK with him and Iliad. And Harry's
and
like,
before that, his matches with Tyler Bate were awesome too.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah, and Harry was like, who? And I'm like, dude, just watch this guy, man. I mean, he's a big dude and he looks kind of fluffy, at the time.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. He looked very fluffy, but I'm like, this guy is something serious. And Harry watched that match and he was like, I'm in love. That's my man.
Yeah.
That dude's something, man. He's something serious. He ain't no joke about him at all. I mean,
I have always been a huge fan of that British fighting style. It just feels like a bar fight to me in the ring, and I don't know. It's very appealing to me. I've always loved that. So
I mean, look, I watch a lot of boxing, and so if you go and look at on the Zone, they have a lot of it's all over there. It's British. It's British boxing. Through the UK and everything. Those guys are rough. They're tough. And then, the Zone signed AEW, and they got AEW running through there. I'm like, look, I said, those people, I don't know how in the world that's going to work. I don't know how good they're doing on the Zone, to tell you the truth. But the Zone, I just know the way they are. And I see a lot of British wrestlers coming over here. A lot of these guys coming through AEW. And I know a lot about the guys that was before them, the Billy Robinsons and guys like that, the William Regals and, people like that. They was just very tough, very rough. And I'm like, you know, is that style of AEW, is it gonna fit over there with the UK fans? But we'll see. I mean, I know they sold a lot of tickets for Wembley or whatever, but man, I'm just like on that show, it just, even though a lot of fans know it's scripted and everything like that, those fans, they look for a fit Finley over there. Just, you know, you better come rugged.
They love wrestling, period, and all kinds of. If you talk to people from the UK, they just love wrestling, and they love all types of wrestling. They like the lucha libre style. They like the strong style. They like the British style. They like it all, and the traditional American wrestling as well. They'll watch anything. They'll cheer for anything. As long as it's good. As long as it's good.
Yes.
Yeah, their energy is just so infectious.
And like I said, I love this matchup too, because not only did Drew and Gunther match up in stature, because I don't know if y'all saw, well, we were out there, like I said, going back to February and SmackDown. We saw. Okay, hold on, guys. Hold on 1 second.
Well, we don't know what we saw yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to hop off here shortly. So,
all right.
Okay.
Well, we're you to roll on. I don't know what Chris was saying. He can say that when he comes back. But Laura,
yes,
if you want to leave now, you can. And we appreciate it. Appreciate everything.
I want to give my thoughts on the last 3 matches right quick.
Okay, go ahead.
This was probably my favorite match. Seth Rollins, Finn Balor. I really love the fact that they revisited from when they were doing the Universal Championship. You know, this was a good start for Seth, you know, to have him and Finn feud, and then this helps segue Damian Priest to maybe getting to that point where he's going to eventually cash in. But Monday, Shinsuke Nakamura turned heel on him. You know, I am 100% down for that. However they do this, I'm really stoked. So we're seeing that heat up, you know, the World Heavyweight Championship picture heat up. But I really enjoyed this match from start to finish. I really liked the ending. The women's title, it was off to me. I felt like it wasn't doing it for me. And all 3 of these ladies are excellent. But yeah, the vibe wasn't right. It wasn't really doing it for me. But eventually it showed. It was just basically setting up for Io to cash in and win, which I'm very happy for her. She deserves it. So that was probably my least favorite match, and I was looking forward to this match. But Tribal Combat, they messing with my fangirl feelings. Jimmy just straight hurt my feelings. I have to go to work early the next day, and I went to bed early. The mister wakes me up. Watch this. And it was towards the end. And when I saw it was Jimmy that turned on Jay, I just like, and I went right back to sleep.
Yeah, you couldn't woke me up for that.
Exactly.
Dude, I could have. He was like, I told you Jimmy was gonna turn on him. You woke me up for that. And I thought this was good. Anybody that personally knows me, the Anoa'i Dynasty is my favorite wrestling family. I just love this story, and I know people are bitching about, it's dragging a minute, because you didn't get what you want. Get over it. You know?
Pretty much.
I mean, but I love the twists and turns. I cannot wait tomorrow night to see what Jimmy got to say and how Jay is going to respond to it. Like, I'm really excited about this. And you could tell at the end, Jay was just like Jay was screaming. like in frustration and stuff. So, but I can't wait to see it. So, but yeah, I have to run, guys, and I'll see y'all later.
All right.
Okay, and we will elaborate just a little bit more. I hope y'all got maybe about 10 more minutes.
Oh yeah.
And we'll go back and we'll talk about the World Championship between Seth Rollins and Finn Balor.
Hey, what was right before this one?
Oh yeah, yes. I was talking about
Gunther.
Gunther and Seth. I mean, not Seth Rollins. Gunther and Drew McIntyre. February, we got out there early for SmackDown, and we got to see Seth and God, I keep saying I mean Drew and Sheamus get out the car.
Okay.
Those are some big boys.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was like, whoa. So to see that size advantage of Gunther's slightly disappear a little bit, I was like, I mean, granted, we knew it was going to be a hard-hitting match, which it was. And it was a very athletic match, which we knew it was going to be. But, you know, I mean, Gunther, he's definitely on to something here. And I can't wait to see what's going to happen when he finally breaks Honky Tonk's record.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you're going to be able to see this. And I'm short anyway, so I make people like The Miz look tall. But when I met...
Yeah, see that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Is that you with Drew?
Yeah, that's her and Drew. Yeah, that's her and Drew.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Wow. That you came up to like right under his shoulder.
Yeah, the first time I met him was at Diamond Dallas Page's gym, and he was like this close to me, like here, and looking down and talking to me like this. And I was just like, you're really tall. And he goes, you're really short.
All right, let me grab these comments real quick. Let me run through them and then we finish up. Victor says, Victor Ganfisto, it's very shocking they did something different. Peaches and Power Bombs, an MMA match in a stadium. Then Victor Ganfisto says, Shayna won with an ending of a story for Ronda that gets Shayna the rub. Victor Ganfisto says, and thumbs up to the beautiful promo package for Shayna and Ronda thing. Also, Harry, love it. And Chris, too. It was like a movie. Jack Michael says, yeah, Peaches and Power Bombs was there Monday. Harry was tear up from that package. Man, you crazy. All right, Victor Ganfisto says, I told Harry, imagine Gunther and Territory Days, Gunther versus Ric Flair, Gunther versus Sheik, Gunther versus Arn Anderson would have been very interesting. All right, let's finish this thing up.
Okay. All right, everybody. If you are still here with us, continue to leave comments, but I'm not going to read them out. We're just going to try to get through these lists. And I will go back and read the comments later and give you guys a like for following us and interacting.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we had the World Heavyweight Championship with Seth Rollins and Finn Balor.
Oh, that was a good match. Oh, my gosh.
It was a very good match.
I dare I say, from what I saw of it, dare I say that was the match of the night. Dare I say.
It was up there. Yeah. I really enjoyed the storyline, the storytelling of the Brock and Cody match. So that kind of drew me away. And that's not because, Brock is one of my favorites or whatever, but it my heart, that is what spoke to me the loudest. But this, as just far as wrestling goes, this probably took the cake right here.
No, I do got one problem though. I do got one problem. 7 years since Finn initially won the Universal Championship. 7 years. Yep. You don't have him challenge for no titles in that whole time. Seth gets this championship. Okay, we're gonna revisit it. We're gonna build this thing back up. We're gonna give Finn an edge and everything, and he's gonna build up. He's gonna be like, I've been holding on to this, waiting for this moment, blah blah blah, etc. etc. We're here, and no. Why?
Chris,
why?
Let it go. I told you over and over. Let it go, man. Let it go.
No.
Man, this stuff is eating you up inside, man.
No, Harry. If anybody knows, when have you ever known? Anytime in wrestling, a champion gets a championship, has to give it up the next night, and never gets a chance at it again.
I know, man. I know. But
when has that ever happened? When?
Finn has had plenty of chances. He's had plenty of other chances, man, to win championships, though, Chris.
I think this is perfect because if you can build it even further down, okay. Finn Balor has gone up against Seth Rollins several times now. He did win 7 years ago, but he hasn't been able to, and it's eating him alive, and he cannot stand it. He keeps trying, and he cannot stand it, and he's going and he's biting at the bit. And then what happens? You have his little protege, his friend over here, Damian Priest. He cashes in on Seth Rollins, and he does what Finn cannot do, and it kills him. And so he look at what it's going to do. It's going to be beautiful.
This is awesome.
Oh, Damian Priest finally.
Just thinking about it.
Damian Priest finally cashes in and he beats Seth Rollins and he's holding up that title, and the next day on Monday Night Raw, he goes, and I don't have to relinquish it. I get to keep it. I mean, I cannot wait. And then Finn Balor is going to snap and he's going to go after Damian Priest.
Well, and at that point, lost the storyline, Chris.
At that point, you might as well kiss Judgment Day goodbye, boy, because Finn gonna go on a murder spree.
Wow.
He gonna be trying to kill anybody in sight, boy.
It doesn't have to happen right now because there's a running tradition where if you are the heel and you hold the Money in the Bank contract, you don't cash it in right away. So if you have this kind of die down between the two of them and they do something else in their Judgment Day, and maybe about 5 or 6 months later, then you have this happen. There it goes.
Wow. That's really good, man. That's really good.
I just need Finn to get a title, boy. I
know. I wanted for him to.
Finn, boy.
I love that. It's. I mean, you think it from a booker's standpoint, and I'm talking about old school bookers. I'm talking about the guys that was really good at it. That's where your mindset is at, and I love that. So I mean, you will be very trustworthy in a role like that. So I love that. So. Yeah, thank you a lot, Tina, because like I say, it's driving Chris crazy, but yeah,
it's okay. It's okay. I love Finn Balor too, and I want him to see. I would love to see him as a champion as well. It's just it doesn't fit right now in the current storyline, so we would have to see. I don't know. I think they should go with the Damian Priest getting it first and Finn Balor snapping. And maybe at that point, Finn Balor can take it off of Damian at some point.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And Finn Balor could be a huge babyface in that moment as well.
That's true. But it was a great match. I'm thinking back to it. It probably was. It was the best match of the night, wrestling wise. But like I said, that one storyline with Cody Rhodes, that was very Cody Rhodes and Brock. That was very strong. So, but yeah, wrestling wise, that was the best match. All right, let's roll on to the next match.
Yes.
Okay, we have the women's title with Bianca Belair versus Charlotte Flair versus Asuka. I'm going to disagree with Alora on this. I thought this match did what it was supposed to do. Bianca did a fantastic job of selling her injury. I thought it was real for about 5 minutes.
I did too.
Wow. That was incredible.
She was screaming. She was it looked like pure agony on her face. I was like, oh my goodness, what happened to Bianca? I hope she's going to be okay. And then she hops in there and gets back into it and beats, I don't remember who she pinned. Was it Flair? Was it Charlotte?
Yeah.
She pins Charlotte, so now she has pinned all 4 horsewomen, by the way.
Yeah.
For the 1, 2, 3, becomes the new women's champion, but oh my goodness, she's wounded, and the Sharks can smell blood. So here comes Io Sky taking that advantage, that opportunity, comes in, cashes in her Money in the Bank. Bianca has nothing left because she's hurt, and she loses it in a few seconds.
I got two things on that. Number one, congratulations for Io.
Yes.
Right? She deserves it. But my question is, do you think Io's going to be a good champion, and do you think Judgment Day is going to have any issue with her being champion because she's going to start feeling herself, and we know that, Bailey is the head.
Damage control?
Yeah.
Not Judgment Day. You mean
Damage control.
Damage control, yeah.
Yeah, damage control. But you think they're going to start, being a little bit jealous and a little implosion, a little dissension because Io is champion, and
I think they'll tease to that, and they'll play with it until it's time for Dakota Kai to be able to come back from her injury.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
And now my second part on that is, where do we go with Miss Bianca Belair? Because if y'all know, that's the second SummerSlam. She done had something and then lost something that quick. And they were teasing the heel turn on her too.
Yeah.
So where we go with her now?
Well, I'm not sure. Look, the way I looked at it, what I was looking at with this match was the popularity, how popular these women were. And what kind of pop they got from the crowd. And I'm looking at, okay, Charlotte come out there, a lot of people cheered. Bianca come out there, she got a little bit bigger pop. And then when Io came running out there, people did, they went crazy because they knew what was going to happen. Yeah. And I think a lot of people feel the same way we feel, that Io deserved to win the title. But Io won that title. But I'm looking at that. I'm looking at this fandom that's going on, and I'm wondering how long is it going to last as far as Io being the champion. Would she be the champion more than 4 months? I'm looking at a 4 to 6 month run, maybe 6 months. But I'm looking at 4 months before they take this title off of her. I don't know if it's going to really work out. Even though I think she has the talent, she has more talent than somebody like, I'm not trying to put her down or anything, but Io was more ready than Liv Morgan was ready. But for some reason, I just feel that Io is not going to have the title as long as I would like for her to have the title. You understand what I'm saying? I just don't think she's going to have a long run. I don't know if they're going to make it to that point where Bailey, I agree with Marie that they're going to, it's going to be some dissension there, a little dissension there until Dakota gets back. But, will they have enough time? Will the fans back enough to where they're going to have time to make it there? So they might and they might not.
I think they can. I think they can, just because you have and I'm not trying to knock Io's abilities. She's a great wrestler.
Right.
I would like to see a little bit more of what kind of character can she be.
Right.
But, and language doesn't have to be a barrier, because Asuka is great with the character work and she doesn't really talk all that much.
Right.
And I think Bailey could do the storytelling for that. I think she could carry it pretty well for that. And, it doesn't have to be very long, 4 or 5 months. Have Bailey cost her, if it's intentional or not. Maybe it'll be unintentional at first, and then, something snaps, like Bailey eliminates her in the Royal Rumble or something, and then we get something started.
Right. Be interesting.
And they don't even have to have the title for that story. It could be the starting point of it. So
right. And pretty much the match was pretty good. It wasn't bad at all. It just, it wasn't the greatest match, but it wasn't bad. I mean, each one of these
it's a triple threat, and it doesn't always feel that electricity ain't always there when there's more than 2 people in the ring.
Yeah, and the whole thing about all 3 of these women got to show their strong points in the ring. So, and I think each one of them sold well for each other. It was pretty good. It wasn't bad.
All right, guys, we have made it. Yay, we've made it. I have not seen this match yet. I know what happened, but I have not seen the actual match yet. So I'm going to rely on you guys to talk about the match itself. I can talk about what happened and how I feel about it happening, although I haven't actually seen it yet. Jey Uso versus Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns, of course, wins. Jimmy Uso, does he cost Jey the match, or did he just attack him at the end?
He pulled when Jey went to pin Roman.
He pulled him off of him.
He pulled him off of him.
He pulled him off of him. Okay.
Yeah. And so that's how it went down. And in Solo, he was pretty much shocked. Because Solo was already out there fighting Jimmy. He fighting Jey. Himself, interfered in the match when it was supposed to be, I thought it was going to be tribal combat rules. I didn't think.
It was anything goes. That's part of tribal combat rules.
Anything goes. But I thought,
I thought one of the stipulations was that no member of the family could interfere.
That's what I thought it was going to be.
Jimmy is a member of the family, so
that's what I remember them talking about. It was going to be, and remember Roman a couple weeks ago on SmackDown, he stopped Solo. Solo was gonna, he was gonna spike, Jey. He grabbed him, was gonna spike him. He stopped it. So it was gonna be. I thought it was gonna be Roman pretty much defending this thing against Jey by himself. But when Jey took control of this thing, when Jey got the upper hand and just started beating Roman, he started just whooping his tail. Solo Sikoa come flying, hit him with a clothesline out of nowhere. Hit him with a basically a lariat out of nowhere, and then just basically, hit him with the spike and just started doing all kind of things to him. I slammed him out there on the announcer's table and all that. But Jey got himself back together, got back in the ring, started taking, Roman was beating him down. And then next thing you know, he got Roman again, scooped him, started taking control again. Next thing you know, he get him down, he was pinning him. Jimmy come out there, boom, and it just changed the whole landscape.
So I have a question. Is Jimmy back with Roman, or did he just attack Jey?
Well, he attacked Jey and he walked off. And
he walked off. I think he's gonna be back with Roman. I think
so. Roman was in shock, and he went ahead and finished it off, went ahead and speared him. I think he just speared him and just pretty much took him out that way. It wasn't he did hit him a couple times with the punch, but before with the punch, with the super punch or whatever, I forgot what he calls it. But he hit him a couple times.
Okay, because that's two different things, because he could have done it for Roman, or he could have just attacked Jey because he was jealous.
Yeah,
so I didn't.
He could have.
We're not sure. We'll find out Friday.
Okay.
That's what I think. They want people to find out Friday, so we'll see how that happens, if he's going to be back with Roman or whatever. Because Roman was just, at first he was shocked, and then he had the smile on his face. But Solo was just sitting there. He was just like, "What in the world's going on?" And Jimmy just, he just walked out, had his hood, took his hood down. He just walked out, just cool, kind of like relaxed.
He looked pissed off too, man. But he just did what he had to do and walked out, and and obviously Jey was shocked, like, "What are you doing, bro?" And it threw him off his game so bad. Well, Roman's gonna see it, and like, okay, I gotta open it. I'm gonna take advantage of it. And all you can say,
talked about, we talked about story and we talked about character a while ago. I don't think anyone has done more character and storytelling than Jey Uso in the past year and a half, 2-3 years. I don't think anyone has touched him, and he gets those little things, the way his eye, the way he looks at someone, the way he walks, the way you can tell everything that he's thinking on his face with his body movements. That dude needs an Emmy. I don't care. You can talk. Roman is the superstar, obviously, but Jey has been doing the heavy lifting.
Oh yeah. I mean,
and I have one question.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this is the question I have with Jimmy turning on Jey. The Usos are done. That tag team's over. After the Bloodline storyline happens, after it's over, what's next? I think Jay would be fine, but what would be next for Jimmy Uso, and how could he? What could he do after all of this without his brother? Without that Usos dynamic? That's my only. I'm a little scared. Thought,
Yeah, that's a good point. I don't know what he can do by himself, and
listen, look, I've seen situations like this before with real brother tag teams, and a lot of times it don't end up good for one of the brothers. I mean, it just don't. Yeah. I mean, you go back with the Steiners, Rick and Scott when it went on, and hey, Booker T and Stevie Ray. Booker T went on.
Booker T,
Ray,
Jeff Hardy is more popular than Matt.
So things like that happen. So unless they get back together, then Jimmy is pretty much gonna end up, working for Impact or AEW or somewhere, and he's not gonna really be a main attraction.
I don't think he's leaving the company. I just wonder what would be next for him in WWE.
Well, if he's not leaving the company, in my opinion, I think the Usos going to get back together. I really do. Because I think Triple H, I do think they want to build a tag team division. And if you can't build it, he brought the New Day back. New Day came back Monday. Well, one of them, who was hurt? Xavier or Kofi? I can't remember. They came back. They beat the Viking Raiders Monday.
Kofi Kingston was hurt.
Okay, but I think they want to build a tag team division because I think he's serious about this thing, and he's looked at it and he's even said, this is not, tag team division. It's been pretty much dead. They want to build that. You're gonna need somebody like the Usos. Maybe not bring them back very quick, but they might reunite. Hopefully, they'll reunite within 4 to 6 months. I don't know, a year or whatever. But they are too good of a tag team to let all that go. But like I said, I've seen it too many times before where, not just brother tag teams, but tag teams that was together for years. And then when one of them, one guy leave that, the team that was like brothers, like Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty. Shawn Michaels left Marty Jannetty. That was it. Those kind of things happen. But I hope it doesn't happen with Jimmy Uso. And he'll be lost without his brother out there, man. He really would,
Yeah, because, Jay, granted, he's not the best on the mic.
Right.
But the way he talks on the mic gives you that realism, like he's speaking really from the heart. You can tell, okay, this ain't scripted. It's scripted, but it's a lot of him in it. And it comes out not scripted. Yep. And that's very endearing. Whereas Jimmy, on the other hand, okay, I know what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna put a little bit in me the promo, but you can tell it's more scripted.
Yeah, But Jay's really good, man. I mean, when it boils down to it, like this whole thing with Sami Zayn when he was in the bloodline, Jay didn't trust him at first. I mean, Jay was going off, and that's the kind of thing. He gives that street vibe, man. He's got that coolness. The guy is full of swag, man. When it boils down, he's full. He has that all over him, and he just brings another element to wrestling. What wrestling needs with people out there. I mean, he's not a. I'm not gonna sit here and talk about Swerve and some of these other guys, man. That kind of like it seemed like they're faking it a little bit. There's no faking with Jay, man. He has it. It's all there. Yeah. He has the vibe that.
I think that's what makes a good talker and a good promo segment is someone that makes you feel like that it is real. It is coming from his heart. This is who he is, and that's what he's presenting to you. I mean, it doesn't have to be eloquent. I mean, I would much rather hear that than just saying a bunch of words, beautiful, flowery words like Keith Lee does, and it doesn't, and I'm not knocking on Keith Lee. That's who he is, because if you follow him on social media, it's just that he just doesn't get that opportunity to really showcase himself. It wouldn't be Jay Uso if he was, being flamboyant or whatever. So
exactly.
All right, guys, that is our show. Thank you so much for staying here for the longevity of it. Thank you, Straight Up Wrestling Show, for coming on and talking about SummerSlam and Collision. I had a good time. I hope you guys had a good time.
Honestly, we got to do this again. We definitely got to do this again. It felt like an AEW ROH all over again, but it was. But this was fun though. This is fun. I truly enjoyed it. We
I tried really hard not to, but we just got so many comments and they were asking questions and everything, and we like talking about old school wrestling as well. Everybody, make sure you follow Harry and Chris on the Straight Up Wrestling Show on all of their platforms, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, everything. They are there. No matter what platform it is, they are there on it, and they go live almost every single day. So you have that continuous content. If you are a Straight Up Wrestling Show fan, and this is your first time on Peaches and Power Bombs, thank you from the bottom of my heart for joining us tonight. Yes. Please like, share, subscribe to Peaches and Power Bombs.
Yes, hit that notification bell for him. Yes.
And we're gonna tell y'all on our next couple shows too. We're gonna tell y'all definitely subscribe to them. So definitely do that.
Yes. Go check them out. Like y'all heard tonight, these girls know their stuff.
They're
just not some pretty faces. They know their stuff about wrestling.
No doubt.
Thank you very much.
All right.
So we will say good night, and we'll see y'all next time.
All right.
Guys, later. Stay straight up.
All right. Bye.
Bye.